Good evening, chat. Hi, guys. Last show for Ohio. Yeah, and what better way for the last show in Ohio to be a fucking Thursday night show? Like, this is great. The fates. Remember, guys, the gods, they smile upon us. The last show in Ohio is a Thursday show. I mean, what more can you say? What more can you say, chat? It is very fortuitous. Very fortuitous. Auspicious. An auspicious sending off for the channel here before we make the big move down to sunny Florida, sunny Central Florida, home of the potentially criminal Central Command as we get down there. So, but thank you guys all for being here. My name's Sean, also known as Potentially Criminal. For now, I am still an attorney in the Cleveland, Ohio area till about tomorrow morning. I still have I have two things to take care of. I have a guy getting sentenced for a DUI, and that was sent out a couple months ago. And and then I have a thing where they appointed me to a guy years ago, and he just got arrested recently, so they gave him another court date to show up at, and that's tomorrow morning. So I got two things. And then I plan to be on the road by about 10 or so. And from there, we're going south. Starting basically over in downtown, going to hop on I-70 and go. And that's the game plan. Sometime tomorrow afternoon, just so you guys are aware, I don't know, 3 o'clock or so, I'll probably go live on Discord. I thought about doing a YouTube stream, but we're going to be stuck in the West Virginia and Virginia Hills. Probably a couple hours in, maybe in the North Carolina hills. I don't know how good a signal we'll get. And StreamYard and YouTube they can get very finicky. So Discord will probably be a little easier to keep in check. And also I don't have to, you guys could just talk to me. So join us over in the Discord, guys. And we'll be doing that tomorrow. So that'll be the game plan, just to give you guys a heads up. Yes, Chow, Ohio, yes. A Fuzzy Creature says 70 to 81. No, I'm going to take I-77 all the way down to I-95. So basically, I'm going to go through the fattest part of West Virginia, just touch the edge of the western tip of Virginia, down into North Carolina through Charlotte, and then just outside of Columbia, go past there and hop on I-95 and take I-95 all the way down. So that's the game plan. But no, not hopping on I-70. I-70 goes through Columbus east-west. I wouldn't want to do that. I already got road pops in the cooler. Not yet, but it's not. I wish I could do that. That'd be so much fun to have a couple of road pops while I'm doing it. Is Mal going to make an appearance? No. Nero says, am I avoiding DC? Yes. Yes, we are. Well, yeah, we're avoiding Atlanta also. And that's right, Kino Heretic. Use promo code criminal, guys. That's right. When you're doing the Dragon's Treasure, we might as well get it out there. Meme Copium and I, our two channels, we are involved in a struggle for survival. I mean, this is the Eastern Front, chat. This is the Eastern Front right now. Do you want those Asiatic Bolsheviks and those Orientals led by Meme Copium to actually win? Do you want those Asiatic hordes to overrun the fatherland? Do you want them to overrun us? I say no. I say no. And by saying no, you fight. You fight them back by using promo code criminal at thedragonstreasure.com. Get your 10% off. Please do, guys. Please do. See, and Meme Copium doesn't give you sales pitches like that. You don't get that from him. I'm just saying, you don't get that from him. Let's see here. You guys are all going to scream the N-word while I get pulled over? Yeah. Am I going to play Country Roads? No. I mean, I might play it when I cross the border. But, I mean, there's really nothing to do until I get to Georgia, because then you got to play Ray Charles. I mean, you could maybe play Wagon Wheel once you cross cross out of North Carolina, but that's about it. Cowpoke says, am I going through Cambridge, Parkersburg, and Charleston? I'm going through Parkersburg, I think. I'll actually hold on here. Let me see. Where in West goddamn Virginia am I going? Let's see. Oh, wow, that was loud. Excuse me, chat. Excuse me. Again, wow. Okay, so where do I go through? I go through Charleston. And, I go through Parkersburg because I-77 runs straight through Marietta into Parkersburg and then into Charleston. So, yes. If there's Cambridge, you mean Cambridge, Ohio? No. I mean, yeah, technically I do go through Cambridge. If you're talking about there's a Cambridge, West Virginia, I don't know. You look tired. I'm sure it's the air mattress. Well, it's a lot of things. It's been a lot to get done. A lot to get done with my caseload. A lot to get done, like making sure I got clients in good positions, getting the house cleaned up. So no, tonight after this, I'm going to a hotel. It's sleeping on a real bed. I am not I need a real bed. I need a real bed. I need a chair. I need to sit on regular things because I went to court today and I sat in the chair at court and I was like, oh my God, this feels so good. It feels nice to sit in real furniture. But thank you. I appreciate you guys being concerned. Yeah, there are a lot of fucking flock cameras in Florida. I'm not looking forward to that part. Let me see here. Let's just check on what else we got. All right, guys. Doing a hotel stream now. All right. So what we're gonna do? Let's real quick. We got some super chats we gotta do here real quick. We'll get these caught up. EDW after $5 says gold counter check. Well, thank you. Yes, we need some Waffle House funds. If we're gonna go to Waffle House on the way down. Future Mrs. Martin 2.0. Hi, sweetheart. She's that's probably what Clyde looks like right now with her. And even Brody is probably all snuggled up on her. I can't wait to see her. Can't wait to kiss her. Can't wait to see the dogs, although I'm sure Clyde's probably going to be I walk in the door, he's like, fat man, you're here. But I'll see you, sweetheart, before I know it. I can't wait. It's been too long. Stephen Cooper says, last Ohio. Yes. And guys, also, we're not going to do locals. I am spent. Amateur Iconoclast has some waffles on me. I'm a pecan waffle guy, so I might. EDW Raptor says, last show in Ohio, can we get a segment of you reminiscing your times in that house? Thoughts of memorable streams. I don't know about memorable streams, but I moved in and right as I was moving in, I blew up my knee. And I tore my patella tendon, so that was kind of fun. If you do that, can we also have the song Goodbye Horses playing in the background? Suffer horse, suffer horse. Suffer horse. I don't have sunglasses on to do that, though, but we'll play that. I'll give you guys a tour of the house real quick. The little Jen that's good says, towards Sean's Road Snacks for the Florida Drive. Well, thank you for $19.99. And EDW after for $50. Oh, wow, that echoed really good because I have the door to the garage open. So, that echoed very nicely. Thank you. You guys want to hear about the glorious sandwiches that have been eaten in this house? Yes. At this very island, chat, I've made so many sandwiches. I've eaten so many sandwiches. Joe Schmo says, for the drive-through sandwich fund, I was going to give you $5, but I know fast food ain't cheap anymore. So here's 15 total. Well, thanks, Joe. Thank you. V2 enthusiast for $10 says, hey, Sean, I've lost 16 pounds so far in keto. Well, congrats. I'm down about 30 pounds since the beginning of the year. And, you might say, well, Are you really? I'm like, yeah, when you're really fucking fat, in my situation, it doesn't really, losing 30 pounds doesn't really mean much. It's not even, it's like 10%. So I don't feel good though. I mean, yeah, it sometimes that happens. I feel like my life is a free fall going nowhere good. I may want to do an outpatient program. I'm not good mentally. What should I do? I mean, do you mean like doing like a mental health in like an IOP, like intensive outpatient program? I could, I mean, if you think that's necessary, yeah. I mean, that's a bit drastic, but I mean, in the first step, what should you do? Like, talk to somebody. Try to find a therapist or a counselor or somebody. It doesn't have to be somebody in your family. I mean, if you feel more comfortable that way, that's a way to do it. But there are all kinds of people who would like to help you out there. You don't have to go it alone. You don't have to fight alone. Call of Duty is right in life. Nobody fights alone. The old Call of Duty motto, not the new stuff, but the old Call of Duty. Nobody fights alone. You don't have to fight alone. Talk to your family, talk to your friends, but don't be afraid to seek professional help. There are all kinds of places out there. That's where you just might have to talk to a therapist and find one that kind of you groove with. And then there's all kinds of different therapies. There's cognitive-based therapy, dialectic-based therapy. There's like a gajillion therapies that are out there. But yeah, go, don't be afraid to fire up. Like, I mean, I wouldn't use BetterHelp, but there's various ones on here. There's like different referral things where you can find therapists and counselors. And that's, I'd say, a step below an IOP program. And they might be able to help steer you in the right direction. That's what I would do if I were you, if you're having problems like that. But whatever you feel like you're doing, don't just let it sit. Talk to people. Just remember, whatever state you're in, it will get better. I hate to say it like this, but things do get better. This too will pass. So just hang in there, man. Hang in there. Hang in there. Thank you for the super chat, though. Bilson says for $5, either fully commit to being Florida man or don't bother trying. Well, thank you. There's no way out. Torgo the White for $2 says more sandwich lore. Okay, well, we'll talk. Kia Patrick says for the gas station hot dogs, road dogs. I may get a gas station hot dog at some point. Thank you for the $10. And SB Sellers for $10 says, show us your first Ohio stream real quick so we can see how far you've come. I mean, I'm going to have to, if I'm looking for that here, hold on. I don't even know if that's, a bunch of these older streams have been like, YouTube has killed off. So they're not all accessible anymore. Let me see if I can find it. We do have it. Oh my gosh, chat. Holy cow, we have it. Actually, I was able to find it right away. But thank you, sellers, for $10. Yeah, here we are, chat. This is the first one. February 17th, 2022. Look at that guy. Look at that guy. Such a goober. Didn't even know how to turn off the StreamYard logo. The Fromes weren't sticking to the walls right. The bookcases weren't full of, Germanic paraphernalia. Look at all that. Look at all that. Look at all the hair. The mustache was a lot blacker. The fat man wasn't as fat. Look at that, chat. Look at that. Yes. I will remember you. Oh. The background's awful. I know it's awful. But yeah, there you go. That's me. That's me. The inverted Murphy beard, yes. But also, this is when I was using this shitty microphone that was like on the table. Let's see if we can hear it. 0. I could give people a couple more minutes. Oh, wow. Okay, wow. Hi, everybody. Look, all the dead air just chugging white. Benefit of the doubt when it comes to self-defense. Well, that microphone's bad. That microphone's bad, but it's out there, chat. You can look for it. Nice vamping, yeah. Who are those mods? Those are a lot of older. Those are a lot of. Those are some of the first mods that are out there. And they were all good people to help take care of the shows and the channel. So, yeah. How many showed up? Ultimately, I don't know. How many people came to watch this? Let's see how many views do we have. 247 views. So maybe 30 people at the time were probably there. Maybe less. But yeah, 247 views. 4 years ago, chat. 4 years ago. So. Yeah, it's a different time there. They've all moved on. They, kind of all went, all their own ways and where things went. It's just what happens. People move on, and yeah. I started watching you after you first appeared with Nick. Well, that was in April of 2022, so it was a while. Yes, I've come a long way. Yes. Yes, it is. Yes. And then Dewey says, I remember those streams. Yes. But yeah, as the song goes, after all that we've been through, chat, would you guys still call this love? All right. Anyways, let's get to the show now. It's time. It's time. First of all, Aaron Spencer, the dad out in Arkansas who shot the pedophile who abducted his daughter. The judge dismissed the case. We're going to go over it probably sometime next week. I want to read it. But it happened. The judge dismissed the case against Aaron Spencer today with prejudice. It's done. It's dunny. It's not coming back. So big dub for Aaron Spencer. Based. Shooting a pedophile who abducted his daughter 15 times. Yes. And all I can say, chat, to this resolution, it took way too freaking long. But you know what?
Was this story based? Yes.
Absolutely mega based. I love a happy ending. I love a happy ending. I hope Aaron Spencer now shows us. And he just, if I were him, I'll do a video now. If I was Aaron Spencer, glue Fosler's face, the pedophile's face onto a target and be like, here's what it looked like. Bop, 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 bop. You got to do it. You got to do it. You got to do it. Please do it, sir. Please do it. Please do it. Praise Jesus and please do it. We need that. We need that, chat. We need it so very, very much. Is he going to get the gun back from evidence? Probably, but not yet. That is what we need, though. When I get down to Florida, we'll go do I'll do a Michael Fosler mag dump. I'll take a staple a Michael Fosler picture to a target and shoot at it. Once I know what type of gun Aaron used, I kind of get the feeling because he was prior military, he might have used a Beretta, which if he does, that'll be hilarious because I'll use my Beretta. If he used a Glock, I'll use a Glock, but we'll see. But that's right, chat. Future Sheriff Aaron Spencer. Future Sheriff Aaron Spencer. So we will see. Father of the Year. And yeah, it's done, chat. The case is gone. Dismissed. Yep, all the way. All the way. So congrats to Aaron Spencer and the family. Now they can relax, get back to their normal life. Aaron's a Glock man. Yeah, I could see it. I could see it. But yeah, it's done. Just prejudice. He cannot be retried for this. And this is mainly because the judge saw the mishandling of the evidence. They completely abandoned all procedures. And the judge cited that and said that was disgusting how the police handled it, and the punishment is dismissal because that would have that missing link would have changed the case. And honestly, somebody would have watched it. I want to see what their notes were about what they watched, and maybe Aaron can get those at some point as he maybe tries to sue the police for civil rights stuff. Who knows? Maybe we'll see what it can happen for him. But ultimately, you never know. We never know, but we'll see. But congrats to the Spencer family on this. Okay, now chat, the next thing we're going to talk about is today is June 4th, and all I can say is really when it comes down to it, thinking about you, Uncle Marv. Thinking about you, Uncle Marv. Marvin Heemeyer of Granby, Colorado. It's Killdozer Day, chat. Happy Killdozer Day. Happy Killdozer Day. And for those of you who don't know what that is, Marvin Heemeyer, in response to government corruption that basically destroyed his life, armored up a Komatsu D355 bulldozer and made a tank encased in concrete and steel plating and went on a rampage through the city of Granby, Colorado, going after the mayor, the judge, the city council people, the zoning boards, and everybody who screwed with them. And he took care of it. And if you guys have never seen it, the Killdozer itself, here it is. Here is the Killdozer in action. This is actually footage of what happened that fateful day. And here is some good footage of it. Here we go, chat. And that's Uncle Marv. He's just, also all the government officials who own businesses, he targeted their businesses and ran them over. And here we go. Here's Marv from a helicopter shot of him going on his rampage. Okay, well, I don't need us to get taken down. But yes, there's Uncle Marv. Uncle Marv, my country 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside, let freedom ring. Thinking about you, Uncle Marv. Thinking about you. Thinking about you, buddy. What more can you say? Yes, the memes have just rolled on out there, chat, as we've learned. Franklin creates an obscure holiday. But if you guys have never seen actual pictures of the Killdozer, well, the Killdozer, Uncle Marv got stuck partially in a basement. He ended up taking his life because the police ended up about to open it and come after him. This is how big that thing was. He literally turned a bulldozer into a tank. It was completely armored. This thing was massive. Like, people were trying, and the Komatsu is a big bulldozer. Look what he did. And that steel, it's not just steel, there's concrete. He made like an inner shell and filled in between with concrete. He made a behemoth of a destructive weapon. And they cut it all apart. And this is the police during his rampage trying to stop him. It just shows you the scale of it. Yes, he had, cameras on that. He had gun ports. He had things he could throw smoke grenades out of. And yeah. Katie says, where did he build this? He built this inside his closed down muffler shop. He built it inside his closed down muffler shop over many, many months. And then he just drove out the wall and into the city and started rampaging. Yes, they were actually, the governor and state officials were demanding that an airstrike, like from Fort Carson, like either the Air Force or I think there's Apache stationed at Fort Carson. They had to send the military to come take it out or use anti-tank weapons. And honestly, I don't know. A Hellfire missile probably wouldn't kill this. The steel plates plus the concrete in between them would probably defeat most shaped charges. I don't think a Maverick would take this out. I think they'd have to drop like a laser guided bomb and just obliterate him. I think it's the only way they would have taken this guy out, is like dropping like a 2,000-pound bomb on him. But then you're destroying like half the city, so you can't do that. So, but yes, remember, chat, sometimes reasonable men must do unreasonable things and become ungovernable. Become ungovernable. So, yes, they did take it and scatter the pieces. They cut them up, like in Castlevania. Yes, they did. And Whistling Diesel actually supposedly had a piece of it when he made his own Killdozer that he like welded onto his own Killdozer. So, yes, there are parts that are out there allegedly. You have to find them. Five-star one a level. Oh, yeah. The weakness would still be the treads. Yeah, but not for, you're going to have to, you're not going to be able to target that exactly. Yes, John Dose is the only American to actually go to 5 stars. Yes. Yes, Fair Frozen is correct. The only casualty was himself. And yes, nobody else was injured. He explicitly took his time and made sure people were out of the way. So, Law King says, what about a javelin or a coronet? Well, the U.S. Army's not going to have any. Well, technically, they got isn't that 10th Group is stationed out of Fort Carson? That's their stateside. Yeah, the 10th Special Forces Group is out of Fort Carson, even though they're deployed in Europe. They would have access to coronets, but that's for training. So they're not going to show up with a Russian tow. No, but even a tow, I don't think would penetrate all of that. A javelin definitely wouldn't. I think a javelin, they would have to use a ton of crap to take him out. So I would have to guess. What basement trapped it? I don't know. But yes, chat, this is also the type of vehicle. I'm sure Nick Arcado would find a way to run into this one as well. So just keep that in mind. It's, there's no such thing as too slow when you're around him. So that is there. Yeah, a Sabo round? I don't know. I don't know what the Sabo rounds out of an M1 tank are rated for, because that's all classified, but I don't know if it would penetrate all that. I'm not going to lie. If I was the government, I bet the government, after this happened, probably tested a lot of crap on this exact setup to see what would happen. It'd be kind of funny if they did. It would be funny if they tested it out on that. Do I think it might go through? Probably, but it's meant to go through steel, not concrete. So, Mike Wills says you crack me up. Well, I'm glad you do. Yes, yeah. Well, chat, those are called toes. Where I grew up, they were called teeth. But yes, the on the front of a bucket you can have teeth or toes. And yes, it was once again another win for the toe. All right, but anyways, Godspeed, Uncle Marv. Still thinking about you after all these years. 22 years later, and it feels like it was just yesterday. Oh, just yesterday. Just yesterday. Now, we are moving on to the next thing that's happening, chat. There is another series of events going down. And hold on here. Did I just X out of that thing? I did. Damn it. We are coming up on the anniversary of D-Day. And with that said, though, we are dealing with the next thing that's going to happen here tomorrow. Dwight Eisenhower was correct. The eyes of the world are going to be upon St. Cloud, Minnesota at the Stearns County Courthouse. The eyes of the world are upon you as two men embark upon the gay crusade. That's right, chat. The gayest crusade. Nicholas Robert Ricada and Aaron M. Holte. God, what is Aaron's middle name? I don't remember. Honestly, I don't fucking care. Aaron and Nick battle it out tomorrow at the Stearns County Courthouse in room 1. in Stearns County Courthouse, room 134. And yes, it is. And you know, it should just be like the beginning of Soul Calibur. Welcome back to because they're gay. It's like they're too gay. They just can't quit each other. It's like, welcome back to the goo of history. Yeah, so Baldover. Oh, yes. But chat, they go tomorrow, at least for Aaron and Nick. Is it going to be the whole hearing? We don't actually know. And the problem is we don't know because these guys are both cringe and they're both gay. And this thing has been dragging on for many months with already part of the evidence already being heard, Aaron testifying. Nick has not testified. I don't know if Aaron has technically rested his case yet. I forget. It's been so long and all of that. But we're going to find out what happens tomorrow. Nick seems to think he's got some sort of, he's got some sort of special strategy. But once again, that's not a real law thing. There is no, like, you go in and make words and you just win. Now, Nick apparently thinks he's going to go in there and make, like, funny anecdotes for the Dabbleverse, and apparently that's going to help him win. I don't think it will. I think Aaron still holds the advantage right now. I think the odds-on favorite is Aaron. Not by much, but he's got the odds in his favor. That said, though, remember, chat, Aaron and Nick are both fucking insane. They're both insane in their own way. They're both gay in their own way. They're both insane, and they're both retarded in their own way. Aaron has an uncanny ability of fucking things up when he's got him in his favor. And Nick just is right now in the middle of just burrowing through bedrock as he, crashes and burns over the past couple of years. So who knows what's going to happen? They both have the innate ability to just fuck things up when it matters most. So could Aaron fuck things up magically and change the scales back to Nick? Yes. We just don't know. We don't know how it could happen. I still think Aaron wins, but it could always change. And I'm sure the judge is just going to look at them both and just say,
"You are gay, LMAO."
That said, though, what do I think needs to happen? I'm sure if I'm Judge Tvedin, I look at them both and he would march them down the hall to a broom closet and say, "Gentlemen, you have 7 minutes in heaven. Work this out of your system and then come back in and settle this." And that's probably how it needs to happen. Let them have it. Let them get at it for 7 minutes, one last time around, and they'll both work it out of their systems. They might have a good cry in the courtroom afterwards, but then they'll be done. But they really need that. They need that. And we can end this chapter, and they can all move on with their lives. At least that's what I'd do if I was judge. I'd be like, you fags are you guys are going in the closet to work this out. So we'll see what happens. And certainly, I'm sure if Nick ends up winning this, I'm sure a lot of people are just going to be sure to remind me and tell me,
"Hey, Mr. Attorney, look at my finger. Fuck you."
I'm sure they're going to let me know, chat. I'm sure they're going to let me know. You're saying Aaron's lolcow plot armor is stronger than Nick's. Actually, no, it's not. Nick's probably got a hardier lolcow armor at this point. The plot armor is stronger there. They should have a goo eating competition. I mean, they've already done that before, and I don't want to know who wins. Titty kind of sources, what about a trial by Naked Twister at Stoney's? I mean, they could do that. It's not a bad idea. And speaking of Stoney's, chat, that is a good point we should bring up, chat, tonight. It is Thursday. It's bike night at Stoney's Bar and Grill at 158 East Broadway. Well, it's just Stoney's Bar, not Stoney's Bar and Grill. But Stoney's Bar at 158 East Broadway Street in Rockville, Minnesota, chat. That's right. It's Stoney's. It's still the home of the $2.50 cans. It's bike night. So, guys, what does the weather look like out in Rockville, Minnesota? It's got to be nice here. Yeah. Ooh, it might be a little rainy right now, light rain, but it's 70 degrees. Maybe it's probably not the best time to come crank your hog out in the rain, but If you want to crank your hog, chat, come crank your hog at Stoney's. You know, get her done. Get her done. Like, you know, let's do this. Let's do this. But if you want to, chat, you can come to Stoney's. And they've got all kinds of stuff going on. It's Stoney's. What more can you say about them? You know, it's the place to go. It is the place to go. For 30 years now, your premier biker bar in central Minnesota. And you know, chat, the neat thing is, even at Stoney's, no matter how drunk you get, they don't have front-end loaders that jump out and scare you and attack you. If you're going to drive home, you just drive home. You don't have to worry about getting attacked by farm machinery. You know, and still, the beautiful patio is out there. Guys, brand new. It's not even new now, but it's the patio. It's still the somewhat new patio. It's new to you if you haven't been there. The patio is still out there. It's in full swing, chat. Get the Naked Twister going. Get the Naked Twister going when you're out there. Show up and start demonstrating for the crowd that, you know what, we all know about their secret. We all know about the Naked Twister, and we're better at it than they are. Just let them know. Let them know. Yes, it's also the only bar where Nick Rekieta is guaranteed not to go because they don't allow nonces or their supporters at the bar. It's a pedo-free bar, chat. Any bar that keep Patrick Melton out, that's where we're at now. So keep it in mind. Keep it in mind. So, yes, maybe they will finally be done. Who knows? Who knows? Let me see here. Did I miss? No nonces or ponces, yes. Very funny. It's a nonce-free zone. Yes, it is, Chad. It's a nonce-free zone. Now, yeah, hail Cheeto. That's right. Hail Cheeto. Thank you, Vinyl Revolution. Yep, hail Cheeto. Now, from here, guys, we are moving on to something that's actually near and dear to my heart. There is an attempt to remove PACER, which is the Public Access to Court Electronic Records, which is the federal case lookup platform. They're looking to make that free at the federal level, which they should. The idea that I'm charged money to view documents, because not only just to download, but to view them, it costs money. They charge 10 cents a page. And like right now, my PACER bill, I just got PACER. They sent me an email and say, motherfucker, pay up. You owe us $40. And I checked and I actually do. I can't believe I used $40 in the most recent billing cycle with them, but I did. So I owe them $40. But there is Senators John Kennedy and Ron Wyden introduced the Open Courts Act. And this is not the first time people have tried to make PACER free. This has been happening for years now. But yes, the federal judiciary has relied on PACER since the 80s to collect case information. It's been online since 2001. It is costly, outdated, and difficult to navigate. And here's the thing. Each U.S. District Court, Court of Appeals, and bankruptcy courts maintain their own e-filing and public record systems. So if you guys ever go on PACER and you're looking at stuff, that's why every court is different looking and it operates differently. It's a mess. It's a mess. You know, and they want to update the system, which would allow them to remove the burdensome paywalls, which is a problem. You should not be charged to look at court documents. I think that is highly unconstitutional. It's not fair. It's a denial of access to justice. And yeah. Yeah, and they'll show you stuff you don't need and charge you for it. So fingers crossed on this, chat, but I'm hoping it happens. They tried to do this in 2020. It passed the House. It got to the Senate Judiciary Committee, but failed to get a Senate vote before the end of the term for the Senate for Congress. So, yeah, I mean, like, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Fingers crossed out there, chat. Fingers crossed this may work. Fingers crossed it may work. Okay, let's see here. Oh yeah, and guys, we're going to be rolling through a bunch of stories here real quick tonight. We don't have any we have a couple of like quasi big things, but nothing super huge tonight. This is more about we're just getting the content out there. So if you guys remember a couple months ago, the head of the Iowa superintendent for the Des Moines school system out in Iowa was arrested for being an illegal immigrant who basically had committed immigration fraud and lied about his identity and had done a bunch of things to get himself in trouble. Well, he was indicted and charged for that, and today he was sentenced. And it's this guy here, Ian Roberts. If you remember him, he has now been sentenced. And he has been sentenced to 2 years in prison and will then be deported. And you might say, well, how did this happen? Well, somehow he faked his own employment authorization and was able to work in the United States for, 20 years. And eventually he led the Des Moines school system. But this guy faked work authorization. So doing the I-9s and all the different federal authorization forms you have to do, he was able to scam his way through it forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. But yes, he is. He's been subject to a final removal order because of his immigration fraud and what he has done in overstaying on visas. And he's had a final removal order since 2024, but the federal government's going to make him go to prison first and then deport him. So, yes, he says, I regret what I've done every single day. Well, I'm sure you regret getting caught. Do you really regret doing it? No. It is funny, though. He says, his achievements didn't excuse his poor choice or his ethical lapse. But your entire career is an ethical lapse. You lied the whole time. His attorneys wanted to put him on probation to allow him to remove himself. But no, your deportation shouldn't be a factor in whether or not you go to prison. Sure, you're going to get deported, but you could do that later. So even the federal government's like, whoa. We will afford you, but not before we get our time out of you. So, yeah, I mean, sure, is this a little political? Certainly, but the government has the ability to do that. And I think that's fair here. And yet this guy was in such a massive position of trust. I don't have a problem with this. But yes, everybody showed up and came to support him. But they also the schools had to revise their conflict of interest policies after they found out he had steered information to fellow people he knew and was on good terms with. And yeah, he was stopped by ICE in September. He had fled and ran away from police. And he was found with a bunch of guns and cash in his car. And he was trying to get in. And trying to go hide. But what happened to him? Well, he was denied lawful permanent residency after he married a U.S. citizen because he failed to disclose his applications that he'd been arrested. And he didn't think he needed to because the charges against him were dropped. Well, and then what did he do after he found out he wasn't supposed to be here? Well, then he kept lying and doubling down. So he tried to adjust his status 3 more times. Remember, chat, when you are changing your immigration status, it's called an adjustment. They kept failing, and that's because it sealed his fate. Yes, but also sealed his fate. He probably didn't leave the country. One of those things is leaving the country is a way to reset the issue. And you might be allowed back, but you can't do something and violate the law in immigration terms and just keep sitting here and hoping it gets better. A lot of times you have to leave and then come back. So, but eventually, yes, this guy is going to prison. This is just, once again, it's just so weird. This man was in charge of a school district for a major city in the United States, a school district in the state capital. And somehow he had hid all of this forever. Nobody knew. Nobody knew. It's a little weird. But that's an update for him. And honestly, I guess this is one of those things where once you start lying, it's really hard to stop because the lies start building on each other. And once they start building on each other, you're kind of stuck with what you've said now. And yeah, the lies, each lie incurs a debt. And once we incur too much of that debt, well, we have a bad time. So I do think in Chernobyl, they were right when they said that. Every lie we do incurs a debt. So there's no coming back. I'm sure he might try to come back though if there's a Democrat administration. So, but yes, he's dressed like a pimp in a bad '80s film. Well, I mean, I actually think that's a stylish suit. That it's hard to pull that stuff off, but I think he actually does a pretty good job with it. I would never be able to pull that off and look like I'm wearing a tablecloth. And with the pink tie, though, I think that actually looks pretty good, pretty spiffy. So it can happen. It can happen. So happy trails, Dr. Roberts. Maybe you can go back to your homeland and do all the great stuff you did here. I mean, remember, immigrants make us great. Well, they can also make their former place great. So you can go back to Guyana, down on the Caribbean coast, and maybe he can help their education system out. So, afuera! Isn't his PhD fake too? No, I actually think he earned that. I think he earned his PhD. I think his PhD is legit. Like, he probably was good at his job and did his job well, but it's like, yes, afuera. I forget who it was that told me, technically fuera is the actual like basic Spanish, but afuera is like fancy Spanish. So, but I do like that. No, it was not a legit doctorate. Oh, okay. Well, there we go. I guess. Guys are like, that's not true. This is an update to something which I know some of you guys, and honestly, I really don't care how you feel about this. I do think it's worth us knowing about. If you guys remember Elijan McClain, he was actually somebody who was murdered by the police. This occurred in 2019. This occurred the year before George Floyd. And honestly, if he had been the face of Black Lives Matter, like, this guy actually mattered. George Floyd, fentanyl Floyd didn't matter. This kid did. And what happened to him was so absolutely wrong. There's no explaining it. There's no justifying what happened to him. So anyways, Elijan McClain, he was killed because police, received a report of, he's walking around and acting weird. Apparently this guy was super, super autistic. But he wasn't doing anything wrong. It actually turns out, the police attempted to arrest him. It turns out they had no right to do it. They had no right to question him. They had no right to demand his ID. They completely violated his rights. While they were attempting to arrest him, he started spurging out, as autistic people might do. In Aurora, Colorado, at the time, they had a policy where they would call the fire department. And the fire department would come out and inject people who were fighting and resisting with ketamine and dope them up. Well, they did that to him, and he had a heart attack. And he went into a coma and then died. And what happened? Well, they gave him a shitload of ketamine. They gave him tons of ketamine. Tons of ketamine that were not necessary for his body weight and not necessary for him. And it's just, this was a policy of the police. They would just show up, jump you full of ketamine, and then they'd haul you off. I mean, think about how crazy that is. Without knowing who these people are, what kind of things they need, will this cause problems or not? No, we're just giving them a bunch of knockout juice, and then, let's see what happens. Yeah, so anyway, what happened? Well, ultimately, the police involved they were charged, but they ended up not facing any justice. Two of the paramedics that were involved are the ones who injected him with ketamine, stood trial. They stood trial, and they were both convicted back in December 2023. They were given 5-year terms of prison. Now, the one judge took the guy's sentence and reduced it to probation. Think about that. One guy got sent to prison and got reduced to probation. The other guy got probation. These people killed somebody. And they got probation. Nobody's ever been held accountable for what they did in murdering this kid. But that said, though, the case was pending appeal, and the appeal came back, and they are getting a new trial. So, as this goes here, I'm sorry, 2 of the officers from the police department were tried and acquitted, but a third one got 14 months in jail. And they're asking court to review their sentences. And yeah, the city paid out $15 million to this kid's family. But we're going to have new trials, and hopefully these are televised because, once again, Elijan McClain didn't do anything wrong, and he died. He died. I mean, that really was the sad part of this. And this idea that we're just going to do this, all he did was, he did nothing wrong. He was actually a pretty good person, it sounds like. He, volunteered at animal shelters, and, he was just a goofy autistic person who was acting weird, but he was autistic. And whatever. And then they basically killed this guy. They killed this kid. And yeah, nobody's ever been really held accountable. A couple of years in prison. I mean, that's kind of good. But is that real justice? Yeah, it's a shame. So we'll see what happens. They get new trials. We'll cover those, and we'll see what happens. Public count sees public disturbance. No, there was no disturbance. He didn't disturb anybody. He was walking down the street and dancing to music. Somebody called it in and said, "Oh, there's a weird looking black guy walking down the street dancing around as he's walking." That was the public disturbance. They had no reason to stop him the way they did. They could walk up to him and talk to him in a consensual stop. But they had no right to demand his ID, which is where things started spiraling out of control. They had no right to detain him at all. So that's the big thing here, Steve. They had no right to do what they did to him. No right to do what they did. Unhung Hero has been a member for 27 months. Thank you for being here, man. It says, been a long time. Potentially Florida, man. Yes, it has. Hope your wedding and everything's been going well. Hope the married life's treating you well, man. Hope it is. Hope it is. Let's see. Let me see here. Hubbleson says, it's a bad situation, but if he's spurging that bad, well, the only reason why he's spurging bad is because you illegally arrested him. Maybe you should let him go and not touch him. That's the point. The cops had no reason to arrest him. They had no reason to demand his ID. They had no reason to effectuate an arrest. They had no reason to detain him. The city has admitted that. They've completely fucked it up. So no, maybe when you wrongfully arrest somebody, they're going to get fucking angry. Maybe that's why you're going to have to fucking deal with it. If you're a cop. If you wrongly arrest somebody, maybe they might try to kick your ass. Maybe you have to deal with that. The 51 says, should the cops be really prosecuted if that's the city's policy? Yes, you should. I mean, you can't hide behind policy. Policy does not override the law. It's our policy. Okay, great. If the policy said you could fucking execute people if you felt like it, are you going to sit there and hold up your policy handbook and say, look, I'm allowed to just shoot people randomly. My policy says so. No. You're not the Constitution über alles. The 4th and 5th Amendment still exists. So no, your policy is not an excuse. It should never be an excuse. It should never be an excuse for these guys. It should never be an excuse. And they should suffer for that. They knew better. Like I'm just saying, they never, yeah. But why does that make the paramedics a fault? Because they gave him a ton of ketamine and they didn't double check, like, how much did he weigh? Like, they gave him ketamine dose for, like, a dude who weighed, like, twice his weight. You know, if you're going to administer drugs to people, it's your job to make sure that you're doing it safely. And if the guy has a heart attack, well, did you cause it? And it's pretty clear they did. They didn't give a shit. They just show up like we do this all the time. You know, get the syringe loaded up, get the rig loaded up, and just right into the guy. All right, we'll see you guys. Have a good one. They didn't do anything to properly evaluate him or check him or test him. They just came by, jabbed him, and drove off. So this is the deleted scene of radio. Yeah. So 51 says cops have the right to ID and detain people. They have the right to ask for your ID if they have reasonable suspicion you've committed a crime. If they had no reasonable suspicion he committed a crime, they had no reason, they had no right to ask for his ID. They had no right to detain him. They had no right to do any of it. They had no right in this situation. So I mean, that's the thing here. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You don't get to kill people and go, oops. Yeah, I mean, that's what policy turns into, is I was just following orders. Well, yeah, that's not always enough. Oh my God, you cleaned your kitchen. Yes, we actually have clean countertops in this house. No, I had to get everything cleaned up today. They came through and took all the pictures for the house, so that's why. Let's see here. If I caught up on Hubbleson says they're not doctors. If you're administering ketamine, that's your fucking problem. If you're administering ketamine, though, that's the thing. Like, if you're administering drugs that could kill people, then you should make sure that you don't fucking kill them. I don't want that liability. Then don't administer drugs that fucking kill people. Like, you if you have the rights without the responsibility, you're a tyrant. And if you have responsibility without any rights, you're a slave. Like, they had no right to do that. So Nick says cops have qualified immunity, which is a blank check to do what the fuck they want. It's your word versus the state. Yes, but in this situation, the city settled because they didn't have qualified immunity. Arresting people without probable cause is, you know, a big qualified immunity killer. So, Embalm says, how does a citizen win that kind of standoff for ID? I mean, it depends what you're willing to do. Are you willing to give them the ID and just like end it and move on with your life? Are you willing to risk getting arrested and all this shit that could happen with it? It's all whether or not you're willing to deal with the calculus. Do you comply or do you not comply and risk some incompetent bumblefuck cops fighting with you and then some dumb fuck paramedics coming by and injecting you with a ton of ketamine and killing you? It all depends what risk are you willing to take. Had Elijan McClain survived, sure, he would have cleaned out this fucking police station for money, but he died. So it's your call on what you're willing to risk. It's what you're calling what you're willing to risk. So let's see here. Dude resisted, though. Yeah, and he was resisting an illegal arrest. Like, you cause somebody who, like, you basically caused the guy to freak out. Like, he's autistic and he had a freak out. He started, like, stimming and spurging. Like, they startled him and got him all fucking riled up. That's their problem. Had they not done what they did, nothing would have happened. And here's the bigger thing, though. ID isn't a hill to die on. He was, like, clear. Like, if you guys watch the body cam footage of him, he's clearly, like, he's not fucking with it. And they treat him like shit. So yeah, he was high functioning, but yeah, you just can't touch people and do what they did. So big thing there. We'll get to it later there. Yeah, acting strange shouldn't lead to the cops like putting you in a position where you die. But in this case, it happened. So sadly, will he get justice at some point? Maybe. But not right now. Okay. What else we got here, Chad? I'm trying to navigate. Some here. Yeah. Oh, there's some super chats, chat. We're going to get to here. Hold on. Yeah, we need to get to a couple. Gunnier has been a member for 5 months. Thank you for being here. He says, beware the fury of a patient man. Rest in peace, Uncle Marv. 100% correct. EDW Raptor for $2 says, oh, I thought it was Tiananmen Square Day. Thank you. Radcon Hazard says, what's your, for $10, by the way, he says, what's your Florida man birthday story, Sean, in chat? Mine is Florida man had an argument with mom, threw pizza at her, and ran from the police. I don't know. I mean, my Florida man story, I mean, is that what happened to you? Because my Florida man story is like being so drunk that I like face planted in front of the police station on campus when I was in college. And as the cops were walking out, they looked at my buddy and said, if you can get him up and get him out of here, we're not good. We won't see anything. And apparently I said, I've gone far enough. And I looked at him and I said, I'm tired and you got to do what you got to do. I also I fell off a porch and really fucked my ankle up really bad. So I was like, this is as far as I go. And they wrote me a ticket for disorderly conduct. So, and being persistently drunk in public. So that's my Florida man story. Oh, that's a good story. Linda Richards for $2. Says, happy Uncle Marv Day. Yes, thank you. Connie Desquad for $5 says, Aaron is so irrelevant. He probably doesn't even legally have a middle name. Yes. The goo man. The gooer and the gooey. Thank you, Connie. Hunch the Dirty Roofer, how you doing, man? Hope you're doing well. Says, in this house, Uncle Marvin is considered a hero. And no one will besmirch his name. Thank you, Hunch, for $5. C3 Metal Things for $5 says, I'm late, but tread on those who tread on you. Very true. YouTube won't let me type it. Happy Dozer Day. That's right. Thank you, C3. It is Happy Killdozer Day. C3 for $5 is saying, as an EMT, fuck those medics. Police can't tell a medic what to give a person. These appeals are bullshit. Well, the appeals focus on the jury instructions that were given because the judge apparently gave them different jury instructions, and it should have been instead of a reasonable man, it should have been a reasonable paramedic standard. So, but yeah, why did they do it? It's because the fire department and the police department had a policy. So if they didn't do it, they would probably get bitched out by their boss. So that's why they did it. Thank you for the super chats. And Zaxarian says, whomever decided this was a good policy seems to be the problem. Well, yeah, a lot of people. Ahmad Reza says, imagine getting yeeted into a K-hole because you're, autistic. Yeah. And then Chrissy Lou says, MLS in Valhalla did the trial of those. I didn't realize it was televised, but cool. Thank you for that. What I really want to know is, has Sean seen the F-19 video? You mean the F-47 thing, the next generation fighter footage on the thermals? That's kind of cool. That's so cool. Imagine if we would have had thermal cameras like that back in the 80s, like outside of Dreamland. Would have been so neat. Unhung Hero says a clean kitchen and didn't crash into a front loader. I guess we won't see you on the casino. No, you won't. And you know our sink. We have doors on our sink cabinets. We actually, yes, we are all set, chat. We are all set. Yes, I'm not going to run into a front end loader anytime soon. In this house, we respect farm machinery when it's moving on the road. We respect it. Let's see here. Oh, you're going new school? It is 100% the F-19. Are you talking about the thing where that thermal footage? I've only seen like the bottom shot. But we really do have an F-19. If we do, that's pretty fucking cool. I haven't seen all the footage on that. I just saw something quick on Twitter. So. Oh, you Google Florida Man your birthday. Oh, well, okay, hold on here. Florida Man, August 10, 1985. Okay. So it says Florida Man did not exist as a cultural phenomenon. Oh, I think you just do August 10th. Okay, yeah, here we go. Florida Man, August 10th. Oh, wow, okay. So here we go. The headline for Florida Man, August 10th, involves a naked man who was arrested after wielding a machete and attempting to steal another man's clothes in DeLand, Florida. I know where DeLand is. It's over by Orlando. What else do we have here? Oh, here's another one. So a man is charged with flooding an emergency room after attacking a nurse and stripping naked. So in Naples, a guy flooded an emergency room. The 53-year-old man became agitated while in the Collier Hospital. He barged in the emergency room, pushed a patient, and then punched a nurse in the head. After hospital staff got him in a room to keep disturbing people, he took off his clothes and pulled a high-pressure water pipe off the wall. They had to subdue the guy with a taser. Wow. Okay, well, there you go. Zacinator says, can I buy an awoo? No, but I'll give you an awoo. Here we go, chat. We got an awoo. Just for you, man, because you asked for it. You're a woo. There you go. Have I seen the Ralph and Scarlett sex tape? No, has it been released? So, Don't inject farm machinery with ketamine, yes. Let's see. Whatever it was, it had canards and canards are gay. That's not true. That's not true. The Rafale is got canards and it's based. Are you going to tell me the Rafale's not a good-looking fighter? Like, you know, even though it's French, it is a sexy, sexy-looking airplane. The lines on that just hit perfectly. The only thing is I don't like the look of French military weapons. It's like their air-to-air missiles and their air-to-ground weapons. But imagine that thing just loaded up like AMRAAMs, like in Sidewinders. That thing just, it looks deadly. It's like a shark when you look at it. Also like the X-31 has canards. The X-29, the coolest airplane ever with the reverse swept wings, the backwards wings. Like, it's got canards. Are you telling me that airplane's not cool? Are you telling me the X-29, which would have been one of the coolest? Imagine if they had made this like an actual fighter plane. Like, are you telling me that this airplane right here is not cool? Are you telling me this airplane is not cool? I beg to differ. This is the coolest looking airplane ever. Like, look at this airplane, though, chat. Look at this airplane here. Look at this airplane. Look at that. That is so freaking cool. So freaking cool. So, it is so neat. It is so neat. Forward swept wings don't work well. I know, but look how cool that thing is. The F-106 is your preferred flying Dorito. Yeah, well, it's not a bad one. There's also the F-102 is a good Dorito. So, Unknown Gary says, I had a pool cleaner in Florida that was stripping naked and swimming in the pool. Neighbor caught it on camera. We called the HQ for the company, and the first question was, did you go to the press yet? That's a good way to make some money because you'd be like, no, but you can pay me not to. That will never not be cool. Oh, stop it. Stop it. This is very cool. The X29 is great, but it suffers from durability issues. Yeah, I get it. It's a thing. Yes, the F-15 active, that is also a great airframe. And if you guys don't know what that is also a cool flight test plane. This one's actually still in the curriculum for the U.S. Air Force Test Pilot School. The X-29 is not. The X-29 has been retired. But this airplane here is an F-15 with canards that are angled up also. And it's got 3D thrust vectoring. This is still a plane you have to learn how to fly successfully and test with as part of the U.S. Air Force Test Pilot School. So, yeah, it's actually a pretty challenging airplane to fly if you put in certain maneuvers. Yes, the X-29 was very unstable, but I remember the Jane's Advanced Tactical Fighters game. You could play that as a fighter plane, a deployable plane. It was pretty neat. That looks like a transformer, yes, but that's the F-15 active. It is still in operation today. I thought you were about to say Gripen, and I ban you. The Gripen is a shitty fucking airplane. So, fuck Baru saying, is the Gripen a fancy wing? The Canard a fancy wing? No, it's a different wing that allows for different flight surfaces and flight controls, and it's an issue of like, are you going to have horizontal stabilizers in the back of the plane, or are you going to have canards up front? It just really matters. The Gripen's fucking shitty. You do not get to bring that into this fight. You should play the Streak Eagle record footage. Oh, if I need a break ever again, yeah, that would be neat. Crotus says, bro, I love that game. Yeah, as a 10-year-old, like learning how to fire up DOS, I felt like a computer hacker. But yeah, that was actually where I got my start because when you bought the game, you got a Jane's information intelligence book on all the Russian aircraft, Russian military equipment, American military equipment. I read that thing like a million fucking times. That's like the foundation of me becoming like a Plainsburg. There's a tentative decision. No, I did not see that. Oh, God, Chet, I need to hold on. We're going to go. This is the Ethan Klein versus Denims. Once again, naming yourself that's a pair of fucking jeans. Okay, I need to go back. I love the farms. When it previews post for you to read. I just love this. Shut kike, be quiet kike. You sound like a seething kike. Sage, swastika in the thread, white power, white race, KKK. Seek out for the right Trump 2028. Volk for the Krieg, Krieg for the Fuhrer. I just love that that's like a thing now. That's just sponsoring a post. It's like, I need to yes. I need to like this. Oh my God, this is somebody just spurring the fuck out. Oh wow. Wow, this is like very intense. We're gonna give that a like. Actually, you know what? We'll give that a heart. We'll give that a heart. What thread is this in? Oh, it's Soy Jack. Okay, well. That's pretty funny. I'm going to save this. I need to come back to this. That was pretty funny. This website is amazing. It is amazing. It truly is from the gods. But no, let's go into the Denims thread real quick and see what's going on. Are you on the farms? Yes, I'm on the farms. This is my, I have a potentially criminal account on the farms. Let's see here. Let's see. TED Entertainment versus Denims. Let's see here. What was the thing? What is this? What the heck is this? Oh, hold on here. What is this? hold on here. What is this? Really? Okay, I need to see. What does this say here? Where did this come from? All these links are dead now. These links don't work. Yeah, the links don't fucking work, so I can't do anything with them. Do I know the return of the mac and cheese? No. No, I don't know the return of the mac and cheese. That sucks. Null realizing his lot in life. Well, yes, he has noticed that. Like Null is a man who understands his station in life, but that's important for all of us. Yes, he is the nigger of the entire world. Sadly, but you know, that is what it be sometimes. Chat. So I don't know if that's what because I'm going to go, hold on, chat. We're going to court, listener. Because I can't imagine the judge releasing a tentative ruling like this. That doesn't make any sense to me. Let's see. Let's see what we can find here. All right. ALEX, Andra, Marwa, Saber. Okay. Let's see. I can't imagine the judge releasing a tentative filing. That just seems really weird because it should be something we could find. I mean, here's the thing. Like, there's nothing else that's been filed. I don't see, and like the big thing, we're looking at this thread here, things that tell me this is not official. I don't, like, where did this guy get it from? I mean, where did he get this? Like, that's the big thing here. Oh, okay, actually, here we go. Tentative ruling's been posted. Okay, let me... Okay, let's see. Well, where's the tentative rulings? Oh, here we are. Okay, well, here we go. Okay. Here we go, chat. We're going to look through this real quick. Okay, let's get down to it. Let's see. Also, they claiming Denim's offering some things here. Let's see. Okay, so where are we getting to? Are they going to claim it's transformative? Court deems Denim's use as transformative? Wow. Really? Staring at it blankly like a retard is transformative? I mean, the fact that, this is. And they're citing the fucking Acerthorn case. This is ridiculous, so. But I guess we're going to have to cope and seethe, chat. We're going to have to cope and seethe here. The court finds distinguishable that the use is intentional exploitations preclude a finding of fair use. Accordingly, that the defendant's use weighs in favor of the nature of the work. Oh my God, this is fucking ridiculous. The defendant's experience is not a market substitute. It totally is, though. I mean, wow, this is a boomer fucking judge. Citing Hughes and Ben hiding Aquila versus Sargon. Wow. Wow. That is... Yeah. It's a tentative ruling, chat. Doesn't mean it can't change, but holy shit, that is a fucking disgusting ruling. But oh well, Denham's could be a dumb whore, I guess. Yeah, Denham's a she-wolf for the SS. Can that be appealed? Well, it's not appealable yet because it's not final. So we have court tomorrow, and that'll be the hearing date for that. So, oh, hold on. Yeah, not yet. And yes, Mario is correct. You know, he's saying this is a term clerk who loves her. And yeah, gives no fucks about the fair use doctrine. Yeah, that's the thing. Your clerks at the federal level write a lot of your stuff, just like the Supreme Court. The clerks do a lot of work. This must be a clerk who likes Denham's and gives no fucks about fair use. So, you know, Ethan's attorneys are going to argue about this tomorrow. And, you know, this is just a tentative ruling, but holy shit. Yeah, I mean, basically I could stream NFL and Major League Baseball games as long as I comment on stuff, which would be preposterous. So we'll save that for maybe over the weekend if I get some free time and we get caught up on stuff. So we'll do that. Real quick, guys, moving on to some other stuff. We got to get Boogie in here. Yeah, does that mean we could just stare at the screen? Yes, I guess it does. Is this CA state court? No, it's in federal court. Central District of California. But yes, that means we can just stare blankly at the screen and say, we're here to take away the MLB's money, and you can watch it ethically here. So, guys, officially, Todd Blanche is likely going to be nominated soon for Attorney General. He won't be as retarded as Pam Bondi, but given the way Trump has been prosecuting things, it's probably going to be a lot of mental retardation involved. So we'll see what happens. I think we'll be figuring that out. Yeah. Damn, would you look at that touchdown? That's crazy. Yeah, man, look at their zone defense. That's just so dumb. Man, this camera angle looks like a high school project. It's so bad. It's so poor. Yeah, this is, yeah. Let's see. Hassan Piker is suing a YouTuber? Poor man, send me a link to that information. I would love to look at it. Potentiallycriminal@gmail.com if you could. Another thing, guys, real quick, we're going to mull through some of these things right here. The Arizona Supreme Court is going to let the case of the fake electors die. They are not going to review it, so the Attorney General in Arizona has to refile and recharge these people and restart the case, which I think is going to be a little tough for them. But the Arizona Supreme Court is refusing to get involved. Right now in Phoenix, it's 103 degrees. Oh, my God. How are they alive out there? It's 7 o'clock and it's 103 degrees. Holy jeez. But this ultimately, the Supreme Court declined to hear it today, and this was part of their orders. The state's petition for review of a special court of appeals decision is denied. So now this joins the cases out of Michigan, Nevada, and Georgia as having been dismissed. Whether or not they file again, who knows? The one that's still pending is Wisconsin. But I don't think there's been a whole lot of updates on what's going on there. But all the other fake elector cases are dead and have either been dismissed by the courts or by, parties in that way. Did I say potentially criminal? Did I say at Outlook? Well, you said at Outlook too. That's my official, don't do it potentially criminal at Outlook.com. There's nothing there. But yes, Gmail, sorry. Yes, that's 44 degrees cooler than a fever. Yes, a fever that'll kill you. Florida will feel hotter, Sean. I know it will. You go in the pool. I bet you do. Yes, if this team gets more points than the other team, they win. I know. That's apparently the standard now in this judge's court. Hampton says, how often do governors grant clemency in death penalty cases? I mean, it all depends. Like in California, they pretty much do it all the time. In New York State, they pretty much do it now all the time. Like when these governors leave office, because neither of those states have executed people in a long time. So don't know. But it all happens. It happens. It happens. I missed a bunch. Have we gone over the Aaron Spencer dismissal? We talked about it briefly. Brewberries, it's too much. That requires its own show, and we don't have time for that today. So sorry. No, we do not. Dirty Eric for $5 says, Sean, join the Florida Python Challenge, July 10th through the 19th. Google it, then stream your first Florida Man gig. What is it, you just go out in the woods and start murdering pythons? It's like The Simpsons. It's whacking day. You got to have your whacking stick and kill all the snakes. Thank you. Florida will feel hotter because of the humidity. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It definitely will. All right, guys. We're getting along to... we are... Hold on. What do we got here? Yes, chat. Some good news of somebody who's going to have to suffer is John Bolton. Remember, chat, John Bolton, the neocon hack, the neocon shill, was charged with possessing classified documents and illegally storing them after he was removed as Trump's national security advisor. And, on top of all that, he got indicted. And John Bolton's dream of a war with Iran happened without him. His life's work of destroying the Iranian government. And he didn't get to be there for it. The shame and the dishonor that he probably feels, I'm sure he's thought about killing himself. And it's buddy, there's more than one way out here. But anyways, yes, John Bolton is going to plead guilty here coming up. It does appear to be the case. Remember, he did this all so he could write a book. He's going to plead guilty to one count of retention of national defense information and pay a $2.25 million fine, which I'm not sure if that's his money or other people are giving him money. But the deal is not official yet, but it does sound like it's going to happen. He's expected to enter his plea at a rearrangement in June where they're going to recharge him. That way they can charge him with something he's going to plea out to. Ultimately he does still face up to 5 years in prison. On this, he faces 60 months. But yes, he mishandled classified documents. Also, he could write a book about his time as Trump's national security advisor for about the year and a half that he did the job. And if you guys remember, we talked about went through his indictment. He had diary-like entries as his time as a national security advisor. Remember, chat, even though, if you get something for the CIA, that's classified material. But if you sit there and take, a notepad out and you start writing down on a piece of paper your notes of that stuff, that document is now classified. That document is now national defense information. So when you start writing these things out, he would write all these emails up and he would send them to himself. And his wife and his daughter were cataloging them. So, but yes, he's accused of transmitting the work to two relatives, his wife and his daughter, as he wrote his book. And he was making memoirs as he was going. So, but yes, Couldn't happen to a nicer person as he tried to sink Trump and screw him over. So remember, chat, traitors get what they deserve. Traitors get what they deserve. Yes, if we did what John Bolton did, we'd be busting rocks in federal prison until he died. And if you're in the military, you'd be in Fort Leavenworth until you died. Yes. Yes. James Reed says, who fucked over John Kirkow? He fucked himself over. That's why. John didn't do it the right way. John Kirkow did not do it the right way. He kind of fucked himself. Biden should be his cellmate. He should, but yeah. But yes, John Bolton wanted to bomb Iran so badly, and Trump's the one who did it. Yes. What are you guys saying here? If Yellowfash restreamed baseball, the MLB killed baseball just like Disney killed Star Wars. Yes. Yes, that is true. Yes, and guys, yes, remember, the 220th show, it's a very DSP, Dark Side Phil coded show. 220 alert, chat. 220 alert. Yes, join by being a member, get some subs. Let's do all that fun stuff out there. Yes, that was also part of the deal. John Kirkow was running around Bill Richardson, who didn't help him. Can we go through 100 Biden tweets? Yeah. Once we get down there, chat, and I get settled in, I know a lot of you guys like the Trump shows and the political stuff when we do a political show every once in a while. We're going to go back to all that stuff and work on all that. So just give me some time. We'll be back up to that. We'll be back up to the local stuff and get you guys some better content there. Is this your last stream from Cleveland? Yes, it is. Yes. After this, I'm going to go check in. There's a hotel nearby, get in my room, going to sleep, going to court in the morning, and heading to Florida afterwards. So, yes, 220, the weight in kilograms Sean wishes he was. Well, here. Yes. Jarox says no one liked those shows, Sean. I think some people did. Are you being sarcastic? I can't tell. It's hard for me to tell. Okay, let me move that. All right. Now from here, we are going into, John Bolton's done. Yes. Some judges behaving badly segment. Now, this one's kind of interesting. We're going to talk about first a federal judge, and it's a judge down in Hotlanta. And why did this go away? I'm a master of detecting sarcasm. Not always. But there's an issue about whether a police officer had sex with a federal judge in her chambers. And it's a high-ranking police officer in the District of Georgia had sex with a police officer while they were both on the clock during the day. Yes, it's going to be interesting. The judge, you have an obligation not to do ridiculous things while you're in your job, and you're not allowed to do stuff. And what happened? Well, we're going to get to this because it is kind of an interesting story. And this is how federal judges get investigated. You get investigated by the Committee on Judicial Conduct and Disability of the Judicial Conference of the United States. This is basically the governing authority for federal judges, because remember, there's no necessarily federal bar association or federal bar authority that can get involved. Is that not allowed? I can never be a judge. Well, you can't have sex. What? Can't a man have a lunch break? I know, Chet. That's the problem. There you go. Let's see here. Seller says, how are you doing a hotel tonight on the trip? Where are you keeping your toys? Well, I'm going to have to deal with that tonight. I'm going to be at a hotel that's near a police station, so I think I'll be okay. My cat's name is Karen, who's been here for 14 months as a member, says, good luck on your move to Florida, Sean. Well, thank you. I think we'll be fine. Appreciate it. So here we go. But this is from the judicial complaint by the judges that are taking care of this. And it's proceeding review of the order and memorandum of the 11th Circuit Judicial Council. So a bunch of judges got involved. And they talk about the 11th Circuit issued an order. Ooh, that's not right. Damn, I messed that up. Sorry, chat. So the 11th Circuit issued an order on February 11th. Geez, I hate doing this without the mouse. They found that the subject judge engaged in misconduct by engaging in an extramarital affair with a high-ranking law enforcement officer and having sex in the chambers during business hours within hearing distance of staff. Yes, that's right, chat. Part of the things in this, the staff heard the judge go, the judge, that was happening to the judge. The police officer was doing it to her. Attended a partisan political event and made false statements to the chief circuit judge, meaning that the chief judge of the 11th Circuit and also the chief judge of the Northern District of Georgia that were material to the investigations. So what are they doing here? I mean, what can they do to this judge? So, well, they are going to explain what they're going to do here, and they are listing out their authority that allows them to do stuff. So what happened here? Well, on September 30th, there was a complaint that was filed against the subject judge based on a memorandum received by the chief judge, and it suggested the possible misconduct. The information came from one of the judge's law clerks, which that's a hell of a thing if you're a law clerk to narc on your judge. And it said the judge engaged in sex with a cop during work hours, and we could hear the whole thing. The law clerk said the judge failed to mentor the law clerks and edit their work, displayed anger to the law clerks, including yelling and cursing. On one occasion told the staff that she had too many martinis the night before at an event for a DA, probably Fannie Willis. So what happened? Well, they asked the judge to, they requested the judge respond to the allegations, which is a normal, the way it works. Judges and attorneys get said respond to these allegations. Later that same day, she submitted a response and said they were outrageous and baseless. The judge appeared to have been aware that the law clerk was the source of the allegations, and made the allegations a means of retaliating against the judge because the law clerk had been repeatedly chastised for her performance. So they just like, she's like, fucked it. Not doing it. So after receiving the responses, they identified a complaint and they went forward. They retained counsel to help them in conducting the investigations. They interviewed 6 of the judge's former law clerks. They got a hold of documents and they received all the things that were there. Remember, they don't need warrants because part of the thing is you work for the federal judiciary. They have the right to inspect your stuff. The chief judge has the right to inspect your work, inspect your things. They reviewed security camera footage. They did visitor sign-in logs to determine whether cops had shown up on those dates. They conducted testing in a similar chambers. That says they conducted testing with a similar layout to determine whether the law clerks actually could hear the sounds from within. Does that mean they actually did the whole, like, did they have to, to test out themselves or not? I mean, they don't know. Do you think they just turned on some porn and just put it on a speakerphone? It's like, can you guys hear that? This gets very DabbleCon thing here. They forensically tested a couch cushion. They tested it for goo, chat. They tested it for goo. They could have blacklighted the couch. The video is wild. Yeah. It's brown chicken, brown cow. Yes, follow the snail trails. They looked at all the records and figured out what they could. Well, they issued the reports in December of 2025. They found that she had engaged in an extramarital affair and had sex in the office. She attended a partisan event for Fannie Willis, most likely, and she made false statements. So what do we do with that, though? What do you do with that here? So they found that she had been doing this for 2 years, having the improper sexual activity in chambers. In multiple occasions during business hours, they engaged in intercourse within earshot of the judge's staff. And yes, this police department had, things being litigated, but she did not, she didn't disclose this affair to anybody else. It says, so accordingly, the judge could have been assigned to handle the case. Now, why is that important? Because if she said, hey, me and this officer are having a thing, they would say, okay, we'll make sure you never get it. But maybe she gets assigned it. Would she disclose this fact to anyone? No, not necessarily. They point out that they didn't find any instance of that happening, but they found this was due to happenstance rather than the judge's efforts to mitigate the conflict. They're just saying by sheer luck, she didn't have any involvement. They found that her conduct surrounding the affair demonstrated a gross lack of judgment, and it created an environment that was troubling. All the people were there, and they noted the affair made the judge subject and vulnerable to extortion and blackmail. Yes, it's a thing that could be exploited against her. They could not substantiate the allegations, though, that she had mistreated staff, which, okay. Her attendance at the partisan political events, she hosted, by the district attorney's campaign. And although she attended for the purpose of reuniting with former colleagues and did not speak publicly, did not make any donation, and did not otherwise engage, the purpose of this was to promote a political campaign. So you can't be there. Judges should refrain from political activity. And they just go on and on here. They go on and on here. She made false statements to the judge. She made numerous material false statements. And she lied about stuff. She refused without good cause to cooperate with the complaint. Remember, we talk about this all the time with the bar and judicial review. When you're in trouble, you have to cooperate. That's one of the things courts look for. Let's see. There's video here. Hold on. Let me see. Is this video something we can watch? Let me see. Does this video actually show anything? I can't confirm this is the courthouse, so I think that's a hotel chat. So I'm not going to show that video because I don't think it's correct. Looks like a hotel. It does not look like a federal courthouse. The hallways are way too narrow. So we'll pass on that for now. Sorry, somebody just sent me the thing to listen to. It sounds like a woman screaming while she's getting railed, but it looks like a hotel because there's like peeps on the doors. She failed to cooperate at all. But remember, they also point out she has a duty to report her own misconduct. And yes, she recanted her false statements, but that doesn't resolve you of your liability. And by the time she had recanted, they had expended a lot of time and resources dealing with this. They had wasted all kinds of time. And they say that, they're thinking it's highly likely she knew she would be exposed. And yeah, that's normally why people come clean, because they know they're in trouble. So they issued orders adopting all of this. So what did the judge agree not to do things here? So what? Well, she got a private reprimand. So she agreed not to oppose or challenge these sanctions and agreed to a couple things. She had to issue letters of apology to her law clerks. She had to forego service as a chief judge should the subject judge or otherwise be eligible, meaning she's not allowed to be the chief judge of the Northern District of Georgia. And then 3, she has to indefinitely refrain from serving on any judicial conference committees. And there's different committees to improve different parts of the federal judiciary. And they said that it's, they carefully considered to recommend a more severe sanction, including a public reprimand. Why didn't they do it? Well, because she corrected her false statements. It's like, yeah, but you lied, and was candid eventually with the investigators. 2, it was not likely that she would engage in this similar conduct in the future. I don't know if you could say that. Like, it's not likely she's going to go do this again. Are you sure? She ended the relationship, but I don't know if that's enough for me. I don't know if that's enough. And 3, she had otherwise rendered exemplary service to the court. So, yeah, she'd generally done a very good job. So what do they do here? Well, they gave her a reprimand. And, yes, so she was reprimanded, and that's what's happened to her now. And honestly, chat, courts protecting their own. It's sad. It's sad that happened, but it did. It did. Now, moving on from there, let me see here. Do you guys have some other comments here I missed? Mega Max for $20 says, welcome to the next stage of Fag Game of the Year edition. The Sea Rock reflects in Moe's shining ball nose and their loving eyes. Only those who have conquered Naked Twister have a place at the stage of cuckoldry. Baldo Caliber 4. Oh, there you go. Unhung Hero says, but do you see Kyle? I mean, you talk about the guy who's this tall? He's about this tall. Thank you, Unhung Hero, for $2. Cope and Sneed's been a member for 18 months. Thank you for being here. Says, when is the Florida meetup? I don't know. I'm not really a meetup guy. VTubing enthusiast for $10 says, I made myself a T-bone steak with fried onions and a Coke with a small amount of Jaeger. The only carbs I had today. I feel a lot better now. Thanks, chat and Discord people, for sending me supportive messages. Well, I'm glad you feel better. Frying onions aren't bad, but if you take an onion, you put it on the grill with a little bit of butter and you season it, that's also a very good way to do an onion. Wrap it in foil. Mwah, it's amazing with a steak. Sugar-free Coke is what I meant. Well, I would just say maybe not the Jaeger next time. Just enjoy your nice dinner without the Jaeger. But yeah, if you're feeling down, I'm glad you feel better. I'm glad you feel better, man. So, Sean loves hugs. Make sure you give him a big hug. No, do not give me hugs. Please don't. Please do not. So, but yes, if you're a judge, don't go banging your people. Now, this is something that just happened here. And guys, normally I don't talk about stuff in Cleveland or in my neck of the woods. But this one is interesting in what happened. This is another judge who got in trouble. This one's a little different, though. This is a judge. She got 60 days in jail for tampering with records. So what did she do? Well, this is Judge Leslie Ann Celebrities. What did she do? Well, she is a domestic relations judge here in Cuyahoga County. Now, what are domestic relations judges? They're judges that handle divorces, dissolutions, things like that. They also handle custody matters between married people. If you have children out of wedlock, your cases are handled traditionally in juvenile court. If you are married and you have children, you do it in domestic relations court. So what happened to her? Well, she appeared for her sentencing on records. And what did she do exactly? Well, she admitted to what she had done was she claimed in a journal entry that she had been randomly assigned a case. Well, she was lying. And she intentionally assigned it to herself and said, I'll take that one. Well, she was given 60 days in jail and fined $10,000. That's pretty big. You're like, wow, somebody actually kind of got like nuked there. And what happened to her? Well, what was the issue? From what I've heard, and I know a little bit more, but I don't know the whole story. I didn't do any domestic relations work in Cuyahoga County. That was a whole world. I was kind of told like you have to kind of get like all the way into it, and like you have to be like you have to like really jump into that pool, and I didn't really want to, so I did not. But anyways, she was involved in a divorce case where she became a judge, and after she assigned the case to herself, this is one of these times where one side was very, very happy with how the judge handled it. The other side wasn't. The other side did some digging and realized what happened. And ultimately, it was not a good thing. So she had been working, and, the attorney involved in it was one that she had more favorable experiences with before. Nothing improper in that regard. Like, it wasn't sexual, but like the attorney was like, had really good, never had a bad thing to say. Never had a bad thing to say. So, yeah, and it's interesting because she's part of a very prominent political family here in the Cleveland area. I mean, people have gone on to Washington out of her family and dominated the judiciary in Ohio for decades. So she basically interfered in a divorce case. Now, she ended up getting her license suspended by the Supreme Court for 2 years. They gave her a 1-year stay. They suspended 1 year of it, but she's currently a year suspended on her license, and she surrendered her license and resigned as judge. But you'd say, like, well, what all did she do? Well, that was the biggest thing, was she made a false journal entry. And all she did was lie about saying whether or not she chose the case or the case chose her. That's all she did. I mean, there's more to the story, but that's how that went. And just like a simple thing like that, and it's all over. So it's just how that works. Just how that works. Oh, hold on here. What did J-Rock do? It's not showing up. Oh, wow. J-Rock for 50 subs. Let's go, chat. Let's fucking go tonight. Let's do this.
God bless you, Donald Trump. Keep the simplified fags out of our government.
Just absolutely great. Thank you, J-Rock, for your support and your generosity. 50 subs, chat. Woo. Just making you feel it. Making you feel it, chat. So if you guys got something from J-Rock, please tell him thank you. And he appreciates that. Thank you so much, J-Rock. There you go. That's going to be... and guys, if you guys get a membership, you guys can actually go and watch the as member content, Clyde and Brody, as the part 1 to the Florida content that's exclusive right now on the members there. We have more coming as this goes. Did I check out Fluffer Boys Bar Dispensary? No. I at the past 2 weeks have been a complete blur. I don't really remember it. No. So. What the hell? Why is this going so far? Why did she do it? Well, there's a lot of allegations that she, like, I'm not going to get into other allegations here, but there have been some allegations that, I mean, there's a lot going on there. I'll leave that as is. Because I've heard a bunch of things about why this happened or why it didn't happen. I don't know. I don't know, chat. So I'm just going to leave that be. I'm going to leave that be. But, there's places if you Google her name and you could look around. You could find some allegations of what happened. But I'm not going to get into that because you never know. I may have to make it back up here at some point. So I'm going to leave that alone. But I just thought it was very interesting. A very basic thing here. And let's see here. Yeah, she did it for reasons that were for her own. And hold on here. What is Anonymous for $29.95? I was like, what the hell is $29.95? Says, here you go. Now you can afford WinRAR. Well, thank you. Oh, wow. EDW for 20 subs. Sellers for 20 subs. All right, yeah, chat. It's the last night we're here. Yeah, we'll do it. It's time for Freebird. Let's go, Chad. It's Freebird. EDW for 20 subs. Sellers for 20 subs. Let's go. Like, literally, Chad, we are going. We can't believe let those Canadians take our stuff here. Amateur Iconoclast for 1 sub. Joe Smoke for 50 subs. 50 memberships. Hell yeah. Everybody wants to see Clyde. Everybody wants to see Brody. Guys, you're going to have so much Florida shit coming up. These dogs acting like goobers. Just you watch. I told 2.0. I'm like, we got to deliver the dog content. More doggos. More doggos. More doggos. Tomorrow, chat, we're also going to be showing the 2026 studio update. It's going to be a little depressing, but we are going to show it. We are going to show it. 93 RT for 20 subs. Son Sandwich Sundry finally giving me some memberships. Thank you. Thank you. I like how they're all red. It's showing up, though, on my thing here in StreamYard, which is kind of sad. But Wrestler Town for 5 subs. Thank you, man. J Rockloff saying, let's fucking go. VTubing Enthusiast for 5 subs. Amateur Iconoclast for 5. Why is this not? Come on. It won't let me move. There we go. Afton for 10 subs. Bob for 5 subs. Bob 2. Katie for 10. Thank you, Katie. This isn't even the only song we're going to be grooving to tonight. That's the awesome part. That is the awesome part, chat. Michelle is becoming a new member. And thank you, Michelle, for re-upping. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Hell, thank you. Tell them thank you. Obviously, Michelle, you thank yourself. So it all works out for you there. 93 RT. It's been a member for 44 months. Damn! Wow. Wow. Wow, man. That's October of 2022. OG mode. It says 44 more months. 1,000 months, chat. 1,000-month reign. That's what we're looking for. Thank you. Michelle for 5 subs. Thank you, Michelle. And then Glim Blim Blim has been a member for 16 months. Thank you. Oh, you guys are crazy. Thank you so much. Spike Gun for 5 memberships. Sterling. The King Sterling. Dirty Eric says, remember, Sean, we only allow the real version of Freebird, not some gay carpetbagger shit. Well, for right now. For right now. Although, I could do Sweet Home Alabama. That might be a good one next time. Because, Muddy Shoals, they got the Swampers. They do. They got the Swampers down there. Thank you, everybody. Oh, wow. Katie, been a member for 27 months, says, bye, Ohio Haitians. Yes. Bye, Ohio Haitians. Hello, Florida Haitians. No, we're going with their, no. 2.0, we made a mistake. We got to stop. Sell the house. Get Clyde out of there. No. No, that's not good. Summonable Trap. Good to see you, by the way. Hope you're doing well out there. Gifting 5 subs. J-Rock says, last night in Ohio, good time, son. It was. Last night I drove around, got a nice, sat out by the lake for like 20 minutes. You know, there's a park up here, Sunset Park, over here in town. It's a nice little serene place. It's got some nice trees that like, it's just right here on the edge of the road, and there's kind of like the cliff drop off. But it's got some beautiful trees, and it's like you can sit in the shade. It's very nice. Nice little breeze coming off the lake. It was a good day, chat. It was a good day. Okay, chat. We are now on to the last two things. Moving on. Thank you again, guys, for that. I appreciate all your support. Appreciate your support so much. So much, chat. So let me get out of how did Dedham's win? She hasn't won yet. So did I cry at the park? No. But yes, chat. Oh, someone will trap. Yes, hold on there. I saw that. Hold on. I need to. Damn, I hate using this board. Sweet Home Alabama is. Hold on here. Why is this? You know, some little traps. I'm doing my part. You know, you are right. You are right. You're doing your part, chat. Where is?
Fight for the future.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part too.
They're doing their part. Are you?
Yeah, are you doing your part, chat? It's the biggest thing there. Okay. I'm felted by the equipment. I'm felted by the mouse pad. Slayer says I'm not doing my part. Yeah. Dirty Eric says Sweet Home is gospel in the Republic of West Florida, a.k.a. fucking Lower Alabama. Yes. You're not doing your part. And yes, never fear, I is here. Well, there you go. Actually, hold on. What are you saying here, Demon's Wrath? You want me to flex on PPP? I think they still have a Ponderosa in Florida. I don't know. Let me see here. I assume they do. Florida has just one Ponderosa. It's in Kissimmee. How far away is that from me? Let's see how far away this is. Because Kissimmee's outside of Orlando, I think. I think it is, isn't it? Oh, wow. It's like way past Orlando. It's on the other side of Orlando. It's almost to like Winter Haven and stuff where the Indians used to play. Hold on here. What are my distances involved? It's an hour and 20 minutes away. Okay, so I could do that. I could totally do that, chat. We could totally go to that. We could totally go to that Ponderosa. So, Florida has high-speed rail. I don't know if it does or not, but the Kissimmee Cobras. There's Golden Corral down there, yeah. But all right, guys, moving on to our last two stories. We got to blow through these. We got to get these done. We're going to get these done here. Karmelo Anthony, Chet, if you remember, he is the high school student, or was the high school student, and he is, I got to refresh this. This is a mess. Hold on. There we go, chat. There we go. Yeah, see, now everything shows back up. It's like it's annoying when it doesn't do this right. There's no Sizzlers in Florida. That's a travesty. Okay, but anyways, moving on to Karmelo Anthony, not the basketball player, but the kid in the team in Texas who stabbed another kid at a track meet, and they are, they're trying to argue he's their Kyle Rittenhouse, Black Kyle Rittenhouse. Karmelo Anthony is the black kid. He's being charged with first-degree murder. As of April last year, he stabbed 17-year-old Austin Metcalf at a track meet because Karmelo was hiding in the other track team's tent. And I believe they actually found him with like stolen shit in his backpack. But there was a fight, and he pulls out a knife and stabbed Austin and killed him and murdered him. And his trial started today. But we did have some interesting things that happened. One of the jurors who got seated got dismissed after saying they couldn't send this guy to prison because he looks like a kid. And it kind of messed up the case. They took a date. They took some time to pick the jury. And, this is Karmelo walking out of jail or walking out of the courthouse in the days. And, yes, they were asked, could you consider a life sentence? Somebody's like, no, he's too young. And somebody says, I don't think I can make that decision about somebody so young. Why can't you? He fucking murdered somebody over some dumb shit because he was a little thief and a punk. Well, we are on to day 3 of the trial. We are now into the closing or opening arguments, and some witnesses have been presented. There is no video allowed, so we don't have that. But today began the opening statements and testimony. It ended at 6 p.m. local time. So they're doing full days. But anyways, they talked about they had people on the football coaches who was helping set up tents. He was 20 feet away, and he says kids were running away from everything. He found Austin with his back to the fence holding his abdomen, and he took off his jacket and tried to put pressure on the wound. And he had to pull Austin's brother off him, his twin brother off him, so he could treat him. And, he described watching Austin die as people tried to stop the bleeding and perform CPR. It is an awful thing. They showed a bloody jacket that was done to cover the bleeding. And how much blood? There was blood everywhere. And how this goes. I mean, there's a lot that happens here. They had other parties that came in, and they talked about when you're at a track meet and it says you want your kids in your camp. And I mean, that's true though. When you're at track meets, everybody stays together. It's just like wrestling. If you're at a wrestling meet or wrestling tournament, you don't go wandering around through other people's shit. If everybody's got their spot, that's their spot. Everybody stays in their group. You don't go wander in other people's places. You don't wander through a bunch of bags that aren't yours if you don't have to. If there's times where you have to cut through, fine, but you don't go and just hang out and sit in the middle of somebody's shit. He ended up getting a hold of Karmelo Anthony, and he said he put his hands on me, I stabbed him. And, they tried to tell him this could change his life if he died, and Karmelo Anthony said he's not going to die. Which is funny. And the defense attorneys asked if Karmelo felt upset, and it said he did. They have other people out here. They had the athletic trainer, and the tent is like the locker room, and people to go wandering through shit. It's not yours. It's like walking into someone's locker room. But there was rain, and people were hiding under the tents, and she said she heard screaming. She gave Austin Metcalf CPR, and she kept going till, she wasn't hopeful when she saw the wound. They had the track coach come out, and the track coach said, you're not allowed to bring weapons to school events. And, he asked several of his upperclassmen to be leaders on that day, and he told them to step up. He had told Austin, he's like, I need you to step up and be a leader today. Watch out for everybody else. And, he saw Austin on the ground with a big purple hole in his chest. It's like, and that's like the thing that, these kids are screaming at the coach, do something, help him. And it's like, it sounds like short of being in a hospital, he was going to die. Pretty rough chat. And yeah, this is the only way we're going to cover Karmelo Anthony. So we might do like next week during a show, we might do some reading through of stuff, but I think these are being very well done. He was very he's like, the coach went up to him and said, what the hell did you do? He put his hands on me, which sounds like he's like, it sounds like Karmelo was not getting, nobody was going to disrespect him. And it sounds like he ain't let no bitch disrespect him. And he's like, he showed you what happened. Point out everybody was praying. The parents were crying. And, the coach identifies him and says he's clean cut today compared to that day. Oof, that's not good. The coach is also, the coach is black, testified he threatened to kick Austin off a track team because he went fishing and tried to leave early from a school event. But they let him back on the team because he, was on the football team and wanted him to learn a lesson. He says, be a leader. I'm going to lean on my older guys. And he said, for sure, coach, I got you. So that's their attempt to make him look like a little bit of a shitbird. The day after the stabbing, the coach said he texted his phone and said, sorry I didn't say enough. And I feel bad. Like, that coach has to feel awful. That feels awful. Like, it's, he said, I need you to step up, and the kid stepped up, and he died. The defense attorneys started questioning about things here, and he says, do buddies ever go and talk to someone in someone else's tent? Who is Karmelo Anthony friends with? I think that's a very dangerous question to ask. Well, don't you go see people you know? Who did Karmelo Anthony know in that tent? It's not common and not part of his team's policy, the coach said, because you don't go around people's shit. The coach testified he did not know that Centennial Anthony School did not have a tent that day. Oh, so they're poor. Okay, so what? Because they don't have a tent, he can just show up and fuck around in anybody else's shit? No, that's bullshit. That's such a bullshit argument. That is a bullshit argument. Guys, no, H3 is not lost yet. Okay, it sounds like a clerk knocked that out. So just everybody ice your titties down. It's a temporary thing. This user's 404 has been a member for 4 months. Says this is a green neighborhood. Yes. And once again, guys, if you guys see Zero Fucks, tell them thank you. Well, no, this is not from user. This is nope, not from Zero Fucks. But anyways, here you go.
See this? That means not welcome.
I mean, it's not welcome, chat. It's a green neighborhood. It's a green neighborhood. So there you go. We got a new one coming up too. Yes, they were tentless and poor. Toshinko says, I have so much going on. Thanks for being live. Well, I'm happy to be here for you guys. Propaganda says, what's the range on your kick? I hope it's 1,200 yards. Oh. What did somebody come in here and troll? Did I miss it? Because I can only look at one at a time, guys. The problem is I don't have 2 screens up. What'd I miss? Primo is saying, Primo 1 or Primo, I'm not sure how you wish to pronounce that. There, Mr. Man, is saying, as a martial artist of 43 years, I would love to meet each one of you face to face to discuss your racist ways, eh? I mean, why are we gonna like do your little gay karate play fight? Like, do you think I'm gonna do that? Think I'm gonna do that, homie? You think I'm going to do that? No, I'm going to do Bakwando if you want to come. You want to step to me? Bakwando and break your fucking leg. Or maybe I just use I use some gun kata because it's not. They're not going to be a whole lot of fancy moves. It's going to be a whole lot of just we'll have a martial arts fight. It's like you got sweep the leg. Okay. Gay. So, yeah, I got a black belt in Glock Fu. I do too. That's how you do it anyway, chat. That's how you do it. Well, actually, Ghetto Samurai. Well, I'm thinking like Shogun of Harlem. Who am I? Show enough. It's a Shogun of Harlem. Yes, and Michael fights my cousin. Now what, bitch? What you think about that? What you think about that now? I have angry black man with karate. Oh, I love that. Oh, that's so funny. All right, guys. But yes, the things are pending there in Karmelo's case. We'll see what happens. I don't think he has a valid self-defense claim, and I hope he enjoys 99 years in fucking prison for being a little bitch. Because honestly, Karmelo probably had that knife, and, we know he's got a history of acting up, and he probably thought he could bluff his way out of things, and he finally ran into some corn-fed kids from the suburbs who were like, nope, we ain't scared of you, and he pussed out and had to stab his way out of it. So, yeah. I dispense 147 grains of velocity. Yes, I do. So, yes. All right, guys. Now moving on to the last thing, and this is really fucking depressing. This is really, really fucking depressing here. Henry Nowak was a young man in Britain who was attacked and robbed and stabbed. And this is Henry right here. This is him. And, Henry is, from all accounts, a good dude. A solid British lad. A good chap. Well, what happened to him? Well, he got stabbed. And the initial reports were that people reported to the police, in particular, this guy here. I hate this when it clicks through too many things. This man here, Vikram Digwa. Yes, get out of my car, hello. Yes. No, notice he's Sikh. He's not Indian. So he doesn't go, sir. But he is a Sikh. And obviously he's not a white man running around in Britain. Well, he stabbed Henry a bunch of times. And when the police showed up, Vikram ran around and told the police he was being racist to me, stop him. At this point, Vikram had given his knife to his mother, and his mother hid the knife that was bloody. The police later found the knife, and these people all got in trouble. But when the police showed up, what did they do to Henry? Well, they arrested him for being racist and harassing a minority. And Henry pleaded with the police to save his life. And the police ignored him. This is the body cam footage of that night.
My dad's just holding it now.
Oh.
Right. He keeps dropping side to side, so I'm just trying to keep him set up.
Alright.
He's got a mouthful of blood. I don't want him. I can't breathe. He was on the bin on the other side of this keep. He's jumped over these fences and stuff like that.
And notice they're telling a story now of all this bullshit that they're claiming happened that never happened. And instead, these Sikhs attacked him and beat him up.
And he's up here.
Away, mate.
He's obviously fallen from there and he slipped from there.
There's other shoes left over there, mate.
What's your name, mate? Huh? Has anyone been hurt other than him?
Yeah, me.
He's grabbed my brother. He's took my turban off. Started grabbing my head.
Are you injured?
Yeah, I've got swollen eye, little bruise.
Alright, just step back a little bit for me. Someone flag these down. Right, let's get you out of there, shall we? Oh.
You hear him. I've been fucking stabbed.
I was in bed asleep. Whenever just got up there, someone attacked me.
I can't breathe.
Grab his arm.
He keeps saying, I've been stabbed. I can't breathe.
Wrong. What's happened to you, right?
Been stabbed.
You've been stabbed? Whereabouts? Don't think you have, mate. Hand?
I can't breathe.
Put the hand in the cuff, mate.
Yeah.
This is like
These cocksuckers know they stabbed him. And they just hit a murder weapon. And they sit there while I can't breathe. They stabbed me. Help me.
You've been walking, you can't
Nothing
happened.
Notice they're just going on about my racism.
He's saying he's been stabbed, so
Where
let's
is it
just
you
check
think you've
him.
been stabbed? In the face? Oh no, but we have to check, don't we?
Right.
In the face?
Just get these back off, get their details and that, and I'll keep hold of him.
Should we
Right, keep you on your side, mate. You better retrieve then. Saying to him, keeping him on his side. We were sat up when we had him here, but he didn't like it. What's your name, mate? At the moment, you are under arrest. That's for assault, so you do not have to say anything. May harm in defence if you do not mention when questioned. Something to which you later rely in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence, all right? It's going to be sick, I think.
He's dying.
I just want you to call it.
Yeah, we've got this male. He's
Just-
been beat up. Are we able to get an ambulance, please?
His pupils aren't even reacting.
Because he's fucking dead.
Yeah. Are we able to get an ambulance, please?
They murdered him. And the cops helped. Because all those Sikhs had to go, he's racist to us, sir, help us, he's racist. He not like our buttered chicken. And they used it and they hid behind it. Those cops should be definitely in jail. 100% they should be in jail, unless you're saying they should be hanging from a lamppost. But no, they didn't bother protecting them and or checking on them. The ambulance wasn't already on the way? No. He was a dirty racist. They weren't going to do anything about it. No, they just said he was a really mean racist man, so they left him alone to die. Yeah, he was accused of saying mean words. Yep. Ammo's currency for $2 says, remember, chat, lampposts are weak. Bridges have far better structural integrity and can support a greater load. That is correct. Bridges also allow you to display things to the people passing by below it. The more you know. The more you know. So, yes, a report came out today. Had the people who stabbed him been honest about what had happened, and he had received aid properly and rendered in a timely manner, he would have survived very likely. But instead, they let him die. Vikram Digwa, or Digwa Vikram, he's apparently now, he is now facing charges of murder. His family is facing deportation because of the criminal activity they engaged in. I mean, that's a good start, but not enough. Not enough. But it's a good start. It's a good start. So, yeah, oi, you have a license for that pleading? I know. Yes, he's already been convicted. Oh, he got convicted? He got 21 years? Okay, I knew that must have just happened today, because I knew that was still going. Oh, yeah, just happened. Okay, it happened yesterday. He got the time. Okay. Jailed for 21 to life. Good. Hope he enjoys eating buttered chicken in prison for the rest of his life. But yeah, he is, you know, as he killed this man, he didn't say a fucking word. And yes, there are starting to have racial riots in Britain. They're starting to show up, but yeah. So, what about piece of shit cops? Oh, they investigated themselves and they cleared themselves of any wrongdoing. So, yeah. Do they only recruit the most cucked in the UK police? Yeah. Yep. If you ever want to see something interesting, watch the, there's videos out there about the firearms training officers, the firearms units. Yeah, they don't want people like who want to get it on or like who want to, you know, do their thing. They pick complete faggots to carry guns over there. So yes, they do. They're cucked. It's a nation that's been cucked for a long time. Amateur iconoclast says, well, I have to attend anti-racism classes at work again, like the other time some dying guy said I can't breathe. So, Primo's like Sean talking shit like it can't be disbarred. I mean, I'm not. I'm subject to things like everybody, but it's like some guy trying to act like he's the hoodest of the hood, and he talks about snitching out people. It's like, that's pretty fucking gay, bro. I mean, like, that's HIV positive gay. I'm gonna tell on you. What kind of faggot shit is that, homie? Oh, do martial arts. It's like, you gotta troll right. But really, though, if you do call people and you go tattle on people, you're pretty fucking gay. Like, you know, imagine going to your cookout on the 4th of July. What did you do? I got somebody in trouble for complaining about what they said on the internet. Well, it's like, I'm sure people are thrilled to know you. So, the IOPC hasn't commented on the police yet. I thought there were initial things they cleared them. Bob says they let him keep the ceremonial dagger in jail. Yeah, Sikhs because they need it, but apparently, like, you know, they have this knife for killing Muslims, but apparently they're not willing to kill fucking Muslims with it. They shouldn't have it. Like, okay, Sikhs, they're all the fucking Muslims. Go kill them. Go clean out England of the Pakistanis. Nope, instead they kill white men with it. So, all in the name of butter chicken. So, let me see here. Valkyrie says, God damn it. Yep. So, surprised they convicted him. They were pretty lenient on all the other heinous shit with the Arab grooming gangs. Yeah, well, but this one I think they have to be careful because, like, eventually the Saxon starts to hate, and eventually the Saxon's going to hate very openly. I think they're being very careful because it's very dangerous. So, Shino Booba says they let them keep a knife in jail. Well, no, normally for the Sikhs, what they do in places where you're not allowed to own knives or have knives, you have you carry it as like a pendant thing basically, and it's like a scabbard they basically glue the handle of a dagger into the scabbard. So you just basically, it looks like a sheathed knife, but there's no knife inside. It's just a handle. But yeah, they shouldn't let him do it. The knife, they shouldn't let him do that. They should let him get butt fucked by every white supremacist in that place. Like, he wants to talk about it, and he'll know what it's like to get stabbed to death. Lol, what's the thing with buttered chicken? I don't know. The Sikhs and Indians, I'm assuming I don't know what they eat. Kind of making fun of Piers Morgan, where he was willing to trade the whiteness of Britain because there are really good curry shops now. A really good curry and buttered chicken. I don't know. Trying to work with it. Just work with me here. Yes, meanwhile in Ireland, the Catholics and the Protestants march together. Yes, in Northern Ireland they do against the invader. So, sounds like they need a modern version of the Cray twins over there. Yeah, they need a lot. But that was really fucking depressing, though. Please let that man die. There are some protests, though. There are some protests brewing. The thing is, though, is this really going to lead to much? Who knows? Because given the fact it's Britain, whether or not they start arresting people and going after, we don't know what's going to happen there. And people are showing up, but they're not, people are showing up and protesting, and people showed up to riot outside that guy's house. And, I'm not going to lie, if they burned Digwa, his house down, I wouldn't feel fucking bad about it. If they burned that house down and stabbed everybody inside it, I'd fucking laugh. Now, not to fuck around. But yes, the police are, on the back foot now because they let this person die. And yes, the accusation of the racial slur was more serious than the allegations of I've been stabbed. So, yes, Madik. So there you go, chat. On a sad note, but maybe there is some hope for Britain after all. Maybe they will take care of business. With all that chat, we are going to end here. It is 12 o'clock, and we are on to the last day. Chat. Like I said, got to get up in the morning, got to go to court, and then I will be on the road again and seeing where it takes me. C3 Metal Thingy says, for $2, now I can go to the Courtney Clenny trial in person. Yeah, I thought about that, but I want to stream that one. I think it'll be good. That said, though, it's in Miami. It's like 4 hours away. It's a long way to go. But let's see here. C3 Metal Thing says, interesting how we kicked the Brits' asses so hard. They became pushover pansies. Fuck YouTube censoring. Yeah, but I mean, it wasn't that made them pansies. World War I and World War II kind of cucked them. They didn't have the heart for colonialism and the heart for being in charge anymore. They kind of fell apart. It took the fight out of them. Johan Naxos for $50. Ending here on a strong note says, for the gas and the sandwich fund. Well, thank you, Johan. I appreciate that. Don't worry, the sandwiches will give me gas. So, haha, dude. Oh, that's so funny, chat. That's so funny. I crack myself up. So, it won't let me send you a super chat. That's all right. It's okay. Oh yeah, Missouri Battle Flag. Yeah, if I decide to, I might sleep in the car and just lean back the seat. Yeah, I'm gonna stop at a truck stop. Sleeping on the side of the road is dumb. That's how you get into an accident. That's how bad things happen. No, you pull off into a truck stop and you pull up into the lit area where like people park to like normally go in. You take an hour or two nap in front of everybody so that way everybody sees you. It's how you protect yourself. Brewberries. Oh, there is a Whataburger in Columbia. Oh, well, that's good because I've never had Whataburger, so I'll have to try that. Never been to Texas. So thank you for that. I might check that out. Brewberry says, my dog ate one of my earbuds. I'm glad your dog's still alive. I know it's been dealing with a lot of health issues. I couldn't work out why my audio kept muting and unmuting, little prick. Did he poop it out yet? I hope he did. Let's see here. Or get the hotel. Thought about that too. Let's see. I use the charging stations at hotels nobody else does. If I had a Tesla, it could drive for me. Yeah, but Whataburger is bad. I'm going to try it. I mean, we'll see it. Yeah, I don't know. People like Whataburger. They're telling me to try. I thought Tony Tip was messed up, but these cops in the UK outdid it. Oh, yeah. Alone Alaska says, if you want to shower along the way, let me know. I got unlimited showers at Love's. Well, do I have to take it with you? I don't really want to. All right. But we do have a request from earlier that we have to fill out. And I need to, do I have enough juice in this? Yes, we do. Okay, hold on, chat. Goodbye. All right. Oh, no, this didn't work here. Okay, so we need... Oh, there it is. And then... Okay, yeah, here we go. Okay, yep, here we go, chat. Okay, I am... Hold on here, we're going to do this because there was a request. Well, who says I'm done trolling? Okay, I'm done trolling. Thank you, Shinobu. All right, let's see here. Oh, we have a guest, chat. Hello. Look. Well, that was best. That backfired. All right, chat. You can hear me there. Perfect. All right. So here we go. You guys wanted to see the you want to see the... All right, and we'll do this. Let me... Oh, hold on, Sharon. All right, there we go. All right, you guys want to see the house? Here, we'll do the house tour. Let's see. we go. All right, here we go, chat. You wanted to see the house. We'll do this here. Okay. Nope, not that one. There we go, chat. All right, here we go. All right, here is the kitchen. And here it is, chat. Yes, with the clean counters. No cancer-ridden maintenance men here. We take care of that. Here is the house. Here is the back door, and that's where Clyde goes outside to go make poopy.
I see my hopes and dreams lying on the ground.
Here's the bedroom. Here's the bathroom. And just for you, EDW, because of your request. But it's empty as fuck in here. It's so weird. So weird. The laundry room. Here's 2.0's office. There's the front door. This is just the closet. And then coming into here, there's the bathroom. And then, guys, there is the old studio. There's the old studio. And that's it. That's everything. Not going in the basement. But that's everything, chat. That's everything. Put up for sale? I'm not giving anything away. All right, chat, there you go. Hopefully you could hear all that. I was trying to make it work. Sula, been a member for 25 months, says, safe travels to Florida. Seek out the crispiest White House or Waffle House hash browns. I do. Crispy. Then you get them scattered and covered. Get them capped, too. Get them capped as well. Get some mushrooms and jalapenos on there. And get some Burt's chili. C3 says, for $2. Yes! And then let's see here. Dirty Eric says, I have that much furniture in my house right now. More room for doggo toys. Oh. C3 says, don't do the Ralph dance. Malcolm Combs says, I knew it from the small dog. There must be a pit in the basement. Yes. Oh, you got the house tour though, chat. Yes. Is there a battle flag? Oh, what did you say here? Hold on, I want to see this real quick. I've been a subscriber since the first time you're on that screwball show from Minnesota with the drug addict. I subscribed, glad I did. Well, thank you for being here. Like I said, all you guys, thank you for being along, with this Ohio part of the journey. And yeah. It's been something, chat. It's been something. New chapter of this whole thing. And I'm glad you guys were here for all this. Let us all be grateful. What? Hold on here. What? Let us all be grateful for Sean that he's making it out of the Midwest in time to avoid the New World screw worms. Yes. Yes, I don't have Governor Vivek. I escaped barely. Nicholas Diorio said he was going to raid. It might get crowded here a little bit. Oh, cool. Did I leave a time capsule in the yard? No. But I gotta, I still have weapons cached in some areas in Ohio. I got to figure out, what am I going to do with those? Because there's some weapons that have been stashed. I got to, there's 2 of them that are decent. And one of them's buried, and I don't know what to do about it now. I was thinking about that this week. I couldn't get to it, so. Kia Palace says, Sean's going to pass a Florida bar, then get a cocaine addiction. It just washes up on the beach. Well, that's different. That's different. Did I see Aaron Spencer's case got dismissed? Yes, I did. I 100% did. Blueberry says, I subscribed to you after the Matthew Moore trial when you were talking and the chick lawyer cut you off and said he was so guilty. Oh, well, thank you. That's been a long time, too. Fair winds and following seas, yes. Well, fair seas and following winds, yes. Remember, Sean needs your support during his transition since it's Pride Month. Yes, I need your moral support. Metal detector time in Ohio will know. It's not a kill kit, but I mean, it's like a weapon and some ammunition and all that that's been, pre-positioned. It's never a bad idea to have weapons placed somewhere where you need to get them if you need them. I know where they're at. I could go dig them up. I could go dig the one up, but it's like, it's like an AR-15 and a pistol and some magazines and a couple hundred rounds of ammunition. Like, it's enough that you could go cause some problems on random notice. Not much more than that, but it's just it's a start. It was a start. C3 says, now can you sample some of glory holes along the way? Just ask Whiskey 77 for spots to try. That's funny. That's funny. Oh. Purple Cowcat says level 10. Nice. Did I ever recover the knife outside the courthouse? No. Well, the one, like I told you guys, the one time it got stolen. Somebody stole my knife from outside the courthouse once. So. Just leave it here till the apocalypse. You can dig it up just like in the Turner Diaries. Well, that is the thing I was thinking about. So let's see here. Edgecombe? Yeah, the Edgecombe goes back. I take it good says dig it up. It's like 3 hours away. So Justin says, how many outlets does a countertop need? Well, I mean, this is a countertop that, you can plug all kinds of shit into it. Like our, we have one of those Eufys, which is like a really good, it's like an upgraded Roomba that actually can do like floor mopping too. And like it plugs in down there on the side. Over on this side here, it doesn't make any sense because you are right next to the door. But like right now I've got my, I don't know where 2.0 got this, but this is a nice little phone charger that comes in, and it's got the, it's got Apple, and it's also got USB-C charger for it. And this thing's pretty good. I keep it in my briefcase. And the neat thing is you can charge it somewhere, like after you use it up. Like I've been in court before, like waiting for things, and like you kind of burn through stuff. And when it's time to like put this somewhere, like you can, like I could just like walk by somewhere and just like thunk on the wall, and nobody notices it, and it stays out of the way. It's not really visible, and judges don't get mad. Like if you have like cables and shit everywhere, they get a little like antsy in their pantsy, and that makes sense. So there's a map of the local IRS building. No, but I mean I had some other stuff in there. Never leave a good weapon ammo. I'm not leaving it behind. I know where it's at. I might need it. I'm going to leave bushes nearby. No, for old time's sake, no. I take it good. So that's over like $1,000 you're leaving. These were not $1,000. These were dirt cheap. The pistol I got for a song. So it's not too bad. But I still know where it's at. And if I need it, I'll have it. I know where it's at, and it's safe where it's at. Let's see. Did I forget to take the knife out of my pocket or what? Well, I was wearing, like, normal street clothes, and I was dropping something off the file, and I was carrying a knife at the time, so I was like, I had to dump it in a flower box outside the courthouse. So. Knives outside the courthouse are like a take a penny, leave a penny, yeah. But no, I had to do an off-body, stash, and that was there. Every 4 foot for countertops, yeah. That makes sense. So that's about 4 feet. It's a little longer than 4 feet. It's like 6 feet, but yeah, that makes sense. So the outlet count is fine. The covers are not. Well, this is a spec house, so you're gonna have to suffer, J-Rock. I had 12 panini presses, several toasters. Yes. Not too impressed by the actual plug-in prongs. Makes it really nice and compact, though. Yeah, it does. I love it for that purpose. And when it's time to, if I'm sitting there and I want to charge the phone up, you can literally, they sit like this. So you can just sit there and, you can use the phone and hold this at the same time. It's very slim and avoiding of any issues. So there we go. All right, I think we're all set, chat. We're going to end that here. And we're all caught up. Oh, I have a PSA and a high point buried in Tupperware. I have one of those setups too. I have a high point carbine and a high point pistol buried as well, set up somewhere. That was my first one. So that was what can I afford to bury in the ground? And I tested it out, and it sat for 2 years, and my burying methods worked, and my sealing methods worked. The end of an era. Yes, it is, chat. And can we get in the Kaleido-Loo before we go? Of course. Of course, chat. We can get in the Kaleido-Loo. All right, chat. So here's the deal. It's going to be a couple of days. Like I said, tomorrow afternoon, we'll hang out on Discord. I'll be driving. You can talk. That said, the rest of the time, though, chat, Saturday, probably not doing anything. Definitely not doing anything. Sunday, no. Monday, we might start doing stuff. It all depends. I got a lot of work to do. I got to get my car sorted out and emptied out. We got to get the garage cleaned up. I got to help 2.0 and pack a bunch of stuff. I have a whole things I got to do. So it might be a couple of days before we're out. We won't take it too long, but I just want you guys to know that's the case. We'll definitely get Clyde content for the members. You guys are going to get some Clyde content and other dog content. I'll make sure you guys have that. So if a storm pops up, will I chase it on the way? Maybe. Oh, you guys need the Discord link? Okay, hold on here. Here is the Discord link. Good call. We'll do this again. And come on in there, chat, if you need to. So, yeah, Monaco's Sunday, but we're not watching that on Locals, chat. I might watch it by myself, but look up the tax-free hurricane supply list. Oh, trust me, I already have. I get to prep again. And it's actually relevant preps for once. So. El Augusta says, you don't charge for the Discord? No. I don't see the point. It's Discord. It's Locals is what I would charge people for, but not the Discord. So, but with that said, though, chat, yeah, it'll be a couple of days. So, I'll post things, though, as we go. I think Jim streamed this weekend. Well, there we go. All right, chat, for one last time, though, here in Ohio, before I begin the great journey myself, leaving the Shire for the land of Mordor. Floridor, actually, we call it that. Leaving the Shire of Ohio to the land of Floridor. Remember, for one more time, chat, just because you did it doesn't mean you're guilty. That means you, chat. You're not guilty. Don't tamper with records. Don't go stab people. Just don't commit crimes. So, good night, chat. And I will see you guys soon. Last time for this, too, because we're going to have the camera in the regular spot. Boop. Good night, chat. I'll see you guys on the other side.
Weapons, blacksmithing, and models of planes, esoteric works, and even some trains. Much merriment had while drinking White Claws, tips on hunting, and even talking the law. Whatever you do, just don't talk to cops, even when they nab you on illegal stops, just cause you...
EDW Raptor, $5 saying, last super chat in Ohio. Thank you, EDW.
Did it doesn't mean you're guilty, but please talk to a local attorney. Was that the fat guy Rick hated yelled at? Why, yes it was, he even knows he's fat. For all this fun and more, there's one place to go, here on Sean Martin's Potentially Criminal Show.
Katie for $1.99 says last. Amateur Iconoclast for $1 says Mitchell. It's hard to click around fast enough. EDW says last. C3 says super last. Seller says for $2 also last. Johan says nope, super last. P-Dub says fiend. Iman Rezu says scam them, Kate. Yeah, scam them. Final show. Erica Thorpe says last. Spud gun for £2 sterling. The Kings sterling. God, I love how it echoes now. Last super chat in Ohio. EDW says, I'm last. Eric says for $2, no witness, no crime. EDW Raptor says, end. Lord Alaskan says, last. C3 says, nope, last. Jeez, you guys. I want to go to bed. Stop. Erica says, I. Keopathics, just we're starting over. And it's like doing push-ups in the military. You get partway through, somebody goes 0. EDW Raptor says, I. Dirty Eric says, niet. Himana Rezu will for 1 toonie. G. Erica for G. Oh. Locals, it was promised us 3,000 years ago. Stabby for $2 says G. Johan says E. Amateur Iconoclast says E. EDW Raptor says something in Hebrew. Oh, no. Oh, no. Yes, I know. This is a hell I built for myself. We went 3 hours, chat. An amateur iconoclast for $2 with the hardest of R's. Cutting it there. Katie for $1.99 says R. All right, chat. We're done. Good night, guys. Good night. Take care. Good night, EDW. We're done. We're really double dipping on the last paid Ohio Tower? Yes. We are. Hag says S. And then C3 says super uber last. Yes. Okay. Well, super uber last. Good night, chat.